Hi, everybody. Nick Blazier here, back with another interview, this time with Zdeněk Ziska, Masayuki Mochizuki, aka Mochi.
Hi.
Hi, Mochi.
Hello.
Michihito Kagayama. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. And hi, Nick. Thank you for having me.
Justin Knoll. He's, welcome, Justin. Say hi.
Hello.
Thomas Tenland. He is G1 Grandmaster on BMAB. I just looked it up. Current PR of 2.89. Nick Blazier here with another interview with another backgammon community star in Simon Paget.
Difficult positions you have to figure out over the board.
Mhm.
You understand what I mean? And it's sometimes it's not easy, and it's like you have to be sharp.
I mean, the worst player in my first 5 or 6 rounds was like PR5. So I was like, my God, what a day. But then, I mean, the luck turned on the other side. So it was super exciting. And it was one of my best weeks. I mean, the most exciting.
You really get to win, or the guy goes, but what if he hits me back? And I go, but what if he anchors? You know what I mean? Like the fear isn't getting hit back. The fear is him anchoring, you know? And Sanders said that in an interview. And I go, I've been telling people this in lessons for years. I'm like, if he anchors on the 24 point, the guy might end up winning 20% of the games then and there.
What changed? How did you figure out that it was a game worth playing and studying?
Then, maybe I was 17 years old. I accidentally found a book at a bookstore, which is a backgammon strategy book.
Hi, everybody. Nick Blazier here with another position analysis video. This one is about recube action against the three-way players. Hi, everybody. Nick Blazier back here with Evening Super Jackpot action. And I am joined on commentary again by Julian Fetterlein in the Google Meet here. Welcome, Julian. Hey. We've got a nice shot of the playroom there as people get set up, so we can see the players aren't out at the board quite yet. But I've got the graphics on the commentary screen set up. I can give you a preview of that real quick. And the matchup will be Radu Ciortan versus Catalin Bucur, which is two Romanian players. I think both residing in the UK now. Yeah. Oh, excellent. Okay, so we got a good one to commentate, you're saying. Oh, okay. Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, my understanding is that the year before last in Cyprus, he was either the champion or runner-up or something like that too. We had talked about streaming his first round match there. I haven't gotten to see him play before, but I'm familiar with Radu's game. Well, sorry, I haven't gotten to see Cat play before, but I'm familiar with Radu's game, and I've seen him in the finals of tournaments all over. So I knew he's strong, and hearing from you that Cat maybe is even a step ahead is impressive advertisement for his skills. So I'm excited for this match. Okay. Okay. Well, so maybe they'll just leave the clock as set. They don't need to reset it from 10.5 minutes and 0. They'll be fine. Well, I will do my best to be prepared to keep up on transcription here. I apologize in advance if I lose it. But usually I can keep up. My computer is nice enough that it doesn't really lag behind or anything. So I think I can handle it. We'll see. Legal moves is always a strong start. I've actually been transcribing a lot of matches with many illegal moves. Getting used to typing those in quickly. Right. But only played 2 of them, right? So, yeah. Right. The old 20 and 9 opening, we don't see that too often, yeah. It was... Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, that's amazing. Okay. Well, that's quite the advertisement. I wish I was there even more now. I don't mind some hedonism. Sure. Wouldn't be a Royal Automobile Club without some fancy cars. I said it wouldn't be a Royal Automobile Club without some fancy cars. Oh my gosh, I forgot to turn your audio on again. Julian, I'm the worst at this. I've had my mic and I've been having a one-sided conversation with you on stream this whole time, apparently.
Right.
Okay.
So the good news for the people that are listening is they didn't miss anything of any content.
No, it was really good stuff. At least we didn't miss anything during the match, But I'm glad that we have enough delay in here for me to catch that before it's like a real problem. Sorry about that, Julian. Thank you so much for joining me again.
No, so it's a pleasure to be here, and good evening to everyone else who's on a normal time zone.
What is a normal time zone?
Well, we set the time zones in Britain. It's Greenwich Mean Time, or UTC 0 they call it now, I think.
Yeah, okay. I can appreciate that.
These time zones, they started off when they'd actually built the railways in Britain that were running east to west, and the train that was running from London to Bristol was actually sort of arriving 14 minutes later than expected because the sun hadn't risen that much by then. So that convinced them they had to set time zones and figure out what time each country was in.
Nice. Yeah, so this if you check out the brackets, there's a link to the brackets in the video description for the Super Jackpot. This is actually only a round 2 match. We thought maybe we'd be getting to the semis and finals tonight. Clearly not going to be the case. We're going to have a round 2 and a round 3 played on stream tonight. And so they'll catch up to the finals and get that on stream tomorrow sometime. So we're still right in the center of the bracket somewhere here.
Yeah, so one big plus is the way Andy set the thing up is doing it over 3 days. You've effectively got almost a whole spare day on Sunday. So his plan was to finish the Super Jackpot and have the final today, but he's got an extra day on Sunday to play with.
Yeah. Yep. Plans never go as you expect them to on site, right? It's really a true miracle that Arda can actually set match times and stick to them somehow. I don't know how he does it, but I mean, this is the hardest part of directing tournaments for most people, I think, is making sure matches actually get played and no one's waiting till 2 a.m, to finally get to play their first round match against someone that's just been busy all day.
So Andrew Selby, who's the tournament director, he recommended that we give credit to David Potter and Jill, who he described as the engine room of the event.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
As you describe these events, the key is that you need people to help out and organize. So if the players actually turn up and play the right people at the right time, life is very easy. But you need something in reserve for when they don't quite do as you expect.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think you had started to talk about all the different people sponsoring and involved in this tournament. And Royal Automobile Club is one you were telling stories about. That's where they're playing in this beautiful building of hedonism. You described it or something like this. I don't know.
Yes, that was the quote at the time when it was built in 1911. They described it as a mini palace of opulence and Edwardian hedonism.
Beautiful. And then they're playing on this beautiful Jeffrey Parker board too. I don't know if any winners get to take that home with them, but it's all leather, all handmade. So the inside, like the actual inlay and the points, all leather cut out and placed within a leather surface. The checkers, leather with metal rims, and the checkers just slide around, and it plays so nice. If you've never had the pleasure to play on one, it is the most luxurious board for sure that I've gotten to play on.
I remember reading up about Jeffrey Parker a while back, and when he was Prince Charles, Jeffrey Parker made a board for him. So the king himself has a Jeffrey Parker board now.
Oh, amazing. I wonder how much that one costs. If you go check their site out, you can find a board for like $250,000 on there too, or something like that. I think it's made with like gold and diamond studs in the checker and like, I don't know, endangered alligator skin or something like this.
Right. And I imagine you'd get a discount if you bought them in bulk.
Right, probably. But yeah, the only other sponsors really to talk about, I mean, the organizers, Andrew Selby doing an awesome job with this. Of course, his membership and owning the Backgammon London.
The UK BGF are involved. So we have a thing over here called the Tour. Mm-hmm. So it's over, I think, 12 tournaments in the year. So it's the best results over all 12 tournaments get to play in an extra event in the following year, the Tour Winners Invitational.
Very cool. Okay.
So I think you have a similar thing in the States, don't you, where you have you score points during the year. Yeah,
there's just a points winner at the end. That's how that one works. Someone had the most points, and then we call it a day and move on to the next year.
Yep.
Maybe if you're in the top 10 or something like that, you get a silver dollar or something like this too. But yeah, that's cool stuff. This is a member of the UK BGF circuit then, and I know it's a Backgammon London event, which is, I don't know what that is, Andrew Selby's like organization for running tournaments around and things like that. So yeah,
so I mean, London's a big city, obviously with population, but also in size. So Andrew has his Backgammon in London organization, and it's basically London Backgammon is made up of lots of small clubs as well. So there's a local club. So I know my friend Peter Bennett, he plays in Ealing, which is, a suburb of London, and as I say, there's lots of these different clubs. So there is actually officially an RAC Backgammon club. So I guess they've helped out a lot in terms of getting us the venue.
Okay.
So I've got a couple of my students who play at a club in Soho, which is more the entertainment region of London, shall we say.
I got
you. So, it's dancing and singing and people having a good time.
Well, I dressed up today for the RAC dress code. Got the suit coat and
so
tie
when I visited the RAC, they did have this dress code that you had to wear a jacket and tie when you went in, but now they've relaxed the rule about jackets. So ties, you don't necessarily need to wear a tie, but they did say you have to have a stiff collar shirt, and you can't come in trainers or anything like that.
Okay. The new world, yeah. Well,
yes.
This is the only outfit like this that I have, I think, so I'll probably wear the same thing tomorrow. We'll see, but it's what I got. Trying to fit in,
So I'm all the t-shirt and jeans.
Absolutely.
I spent some time working for a bank and for the civil service where your dress code was more important. Right, so they're getting down to go. So
looks like it. I'm on the ball with the full screen mode this time, even if I was behind.
Okay, so it's brilliant. So Super Jackpot round 2, Radu against Cat, and it's a match to 13. And I think the time limit's the same as before. This 90 seconds a point. But having said that, I was saying to Nick that the both these players are notoriously very fast players, so they're not going to get into time trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, Julian promises that I'm going to have my work cut out for me on transcription on this one. They make a lot of instant moves. We'll see, though. I mean, probably both knowing each other pretty well, probably have a lot of respect for each other's games. Maybe they'll slow down and try to get the best of it here a little bit more. You know, we'll see. Or maybe they'll just be happy to play fast, and whoever wins, you know, isn't a big deal to them. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, so I mean, they live at opposite ends of the country, but I think they're pretty good friends anyway. That they're both in the same position of having come over from Romania, so they can talk Romanian amongst themselves if they so desire. But they both speak perfectly good English anyway, and
absolutely.
Radu is a confirmed Christian, so he's actually one of the most likable and most polite players you will ever run into.
Oh, okay. That's super nice. Polite players are more fun. You know, I don't know why, like anyone trying to get some sort of like poker intimidation over the board. It's just not that pleasant. Rather have a good time playing.
Yeah, so I'm sure they will. I mean, I think since they know each other so well, there's not going to be any of this gamesmanship of trying to get an unfair advantage in any way.
Yeah, which I don't think is usually what's going on necessarily either. But I remember last match, one of the players getting irritated with the other, picking up the dice early before he'd hit the clock and things like that. So they'll be on the same page about what the rules.
Yeah, was that the one with Romelu?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Romelu is a very likable guy. So he was originally Italian, and he made his living with an Italian restaurant. So anyway, they're about to kick off, so we're off and running.
Okay, the Jeffrey Parker spin to open up on the board there. We have a 5-2, sorry. Splits, and then we have a 3-1 point. Okay. Good start for Catalin so far. 4-4. Can't really do too much with the back checkers, so he's just going to instantly make all the board points instead of thinking about the 5. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, the positive bit is he's done a lot of unstacking, but like I was saying earlier, they tend to rate speed of play slightly above accuracy, perhaps.
The 6-2, I'm starting to see this theme more often and understand it, that when we make the 5 point, we like a spare there. Making the anchor is nice, but our ace is not so good here. Is this really the best we have? I guess so. This is why we make the 5, right? So we don't have to slot it later?
Yeah, I mean, I can see the logic in his play, because he'd rolled a 5 on the first roll, so he'd got the 8 point stacked, so he could make the 2 points in board and keep the 8 point.
Yeah, very true. They were very close, too. Ace
3x, it looks like. All right, Radu's got a stronger board, so he's still fighting for the 5 point.
Yeah, this can still work, but the blocking structure on Cat's side looking pretty strong. I think probably just anchor and make the 10 here, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So one of the weaknesses with Radu's play with making the 2 point is that when you've made the 2 point, it's difficult to get a priming structure. Mm-hmm. So I agree with you entirely. I think making the 24 was the right play, but the computer seems to think this is fine.
Yeah, likes the 6-5. I'm really surprised
by our idea.
Right. What do we know? Now he gets pointed on as a result. And what do we have? Did we get a fan out of it?
Seemingly, yes. So
okay.
2-1, it looks like. Is that right?
Yeah, and a 2-1 follow-up. Got it. Sorry, I happened to adjust my microphone real quick. This is a lot of multitasking. No cube in there either, so it looks like he missed a small one there.
So I would think the 2 is 13-11, and then 2 is the 1, and that's what he's done.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, advancing. I guess we could get 5s by stepping 24 to 23.
5-5 is game changer.
Wow, okay.
So that hits, escapes a checker, and makes the 10 points. So that leaves Cat in the driving seat for the moment. 4-3 should stop the cube. So Cat's still got 1 checker to escape, so I don't think he can think of doubling till he's got that guy moving.
Yeah. The second anchor, it's tough to play when our structure's in pure and we don't have the 20, but I think the board's good enough. 4-5, everything's where we want it. Another one of these scenarios where I guess we just run, try to capitalize on a racing lead.
Yeah, so I can't Can't see another good 5 aside from running.
Right. But he's going to consider staying back and not giving any fly shots in there or any direct shots in the outfield.
Yeah, so I think that's a mistake, yeah.
Yeah, it just gives that checker up forever is the problem, right?
And the other thing is it's not so easy to get safe from the 20. So 6-4 is a bit difficult. So I think you hinted at the play here that he's got to do something to come off one of the anchors. He can't play with both of them.
Okay.
So that would indicate the 6 is out to the 16. So this seems to duplicate some 4s, but give a few other numbers.
Finds a nice play there. Two, 2-1. So, I mean, we have blots around, but do we even want to hit with the blot behind? Probably not. What else can we do with it? The ace, having to stack up like this is so awkward.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe move off the 2017, yeah.
Sure, but he just doesn't want to be in the outfield generating these shots from the midpoint for free with no return.
Yeah, so it swings and roundabouts. The problem is when you stay on the 20, if you invite him to hit you on the point he wants next.
Yeah, so there's upside heading there too, even though we do get this return 5. But this isn't all upside either, since there's a blot and board and he might end up with another sent back. So shooting at aces and deuces to hit here. Ace hits. Oh, the 5 hits as well. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
So he's still got 4 checkers back in the 5 points still open, so it's obviously a very good roll, but I think he's still away from winning.
Wow, but, well, maybe with the cube. I mean, the gammons when this work are so high, right? Of course there must be wins in this position. But, okay, so he has a clear double.
Yeah, so you're right.
Yeah.
He can cube already, so he's going about his business very well in terms of figuring that the 5 point at the bottom of the board is the key to this position.
5-3 enters one. Okay, a little more pressure on the position for white. So this doesn't feel as much like a double now, but okay, we're still in the window. What do I know? Yeah. 3-2 is going to hit loose. I guess the issue is that a lot of times the game's going to hinge on this sequence, right? If we get away with this loose hit.
Yeah, so it's if white doesn't hit back, then it's going to be over. Right. So
now we have a just fine back game.
Radu has actually constructed a very good defense. So he hasn't gone all in. He's got his 2 anchors back, so he can't get wiped out with this shot.
Yeah. So no real turnaround, and now he's back to that original game plan, the old double anchor game. And I think like it still looks good enough to just be nothing for white, even though of course they have many checkers back and more blots to pick up. The contact seems long term and strong enough to play out for a while here. But okay, we're right on the borderline of the cube, and Cat not going to miss this. Wow, nice find. I guess a lot of these where they don't actually have timing in the outfield and can scoop up blots and maybe...
Yeah, so the way I'd see this is if white can hit the 2 checkers in the outfield, then he can probably break black's board, but he's got a way to go to do that. So that looks like double 3, I guess. So
yeah. Gonna unstack the point first. That's probably wise with all those checkers on the 5, even though we're not so worried about being behind the anchor. Wants to keep contact
I'm
in the
not
checker.
sure on his plan, whether he's planning to block these checkers and break the board, or just send all these checkers back and try and win that way.
Yeah, so it appears XG likes making a priming play instead of a board point. Kind of was thinking that way at first, but I felt convinced by his play, seeing, checkers just feel misplaced standing on the 5 there, Yeah,
so now I think we make the 1 point, that if we're going in with this getting home safely plan, we just point on the 1 and maybe clear the 10 point now, because that's going to be one of the hardest point to clear probably.
I like your idea there. Not a situation where we want to hit loose on the ace and try to be recirculated, because we don't have the prime in front of the double anchor. So there's a lot of go forward kind of plans here for our opponent.
Okay, so double 3 we can't hit. So
wow.
Do we come out from the 21 point is the crucial question.
Yeah, do we have time without cracking otherwise if we slap the 5? I'm not sure. Maybe we should come out to the 18, even though it feels very strange to do so.
I don't know. Maybe you go to the 5 on the basis that blot's sitting out there. So if you leave it there, it leaves white all these good ones to hit and send you stop your plan in its tracks.
Right.
Plus
they can just Plus, they can just, maybe make the 4 point and reduce all your contact here. But it's very challenging. Yeah, I'm not sure. There's pretty small difference between the two plays as far as
yes, exactly.
different strategies goes.
They're two entirely different plans. It's quite close in equity for that.
Mm-hmm.
So 4-2. That looks like it's some sort of safety in play.
Can't quite. It could. It could make the 13 and come into the 5. But I was thinking you really wanted the 9 point. So maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think we need to make the 9 point to stop the spares on the 22 getting out.
Yeah.
If Black can free those 2 extra checkers on the 3 point, then he's right back in the game. But if we stop them moving, then his game can collapse very quickly. It's very fragile.
Either back.
Yeah, so it's saying making the 9 is top play, isn't it?
Yes. Scary to leave the shot, though, but I guess our opponent doesn't really want to give up the bar point anchor here anyway, right? Like, the whole coming out was another hold, but he's not quite ready to cash in on the contact. Yeah. So, I'm not sure. Maybe it's not as risky as it looks to volunteer the 6.
Yeah, so it is a tough choice. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Looks like he's leaning towards the best, though. Well found. And what is he going to do with the 5-1 now? I guess just hit automatically? But not all upside. Yeah.
So, there's potentially bad entry numbers now. So, that White's in this TMP position. He has no spares anywhere.
Yeah.
Ooh, right. He's remade it, so that's good. And he's going about trying to make the 5 point.
Yep. Back on the double 5s and the 5-6. Ace 3 enters, and here we are cracking just like you promised. Which one? So we're going to open up the 6s. Maybe from the 8, does more containment job. Yeah, this is a sizable mistake to let the 6s out. Okay.
Especially when he rolls one.
Right, yeah, especially when he rolls one. Gets to link up and block the double 5s is the idea, I guess, somewhat. I don't know. Lack of aces.
Yeah, so White's still got a 4 point board. I think Black has to go about winning this game slowly.
Mm-hmm. Decides to slot there instead of breaking a point. Keeps as much structure as possible. Which can go both ways, as we've seen.
So Black's definitely got the upper hand now, I think, with the 2 white checkers back on the 24 point. Just if you look at it in terms of normal backgammon, that White's stuck back on the 24 point he began with, whereas Black's got an advanced anchor.
Yeah. They're playing a pretty wild and complicated game right off the bat here, too, though. This is exciting. I hate giving my opponent the opportunity to leave the ace point with tempo.
So I like the 6 to the 10 point and then break the 18.
Sure.
This is, as you say, the computer loves this.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's the best play. But it feels like it adds so much to the 4s. But maybe our opponent's comfortable stepping up with 4s anyway. Or something.
Yeah. So the other thing that worried me was I wasn't sure we could even cover it next turn if we get away with being missed.
Yeah. Only 5s get there. 5s and 13s.
13s. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. The 2-1. Yeah. It's weird to leave the 6, but that's what you've been dealt there. All the checkers still alive if he leaves the 22. And now Radu thinks maybe he's got the advantage in this game. Sitting on a 2-cube wants to think about the recube.
So he's definitely got the advantage. I'm convinced of that. And I suppose if he's got all the 5s make the 5 point, then there's definite market loss. But once you've made the 5, it's difficult to go much further than that. So I think the computer's saying that this would be a double from the center, but not a recube.
That could be. It actually looks a little shy from the center too, but maybe there's just a lot of volatility on this one changing it. Could be endgame and the risk of cracking and all these kinds of things that are really big factors. But when I calculate the gammon price and add 5% adjusted wins, that's not usually where we want to be getting the cube in quite yet.
Okay, so he's thrown it over. He's looking for 5. He's got his 5.
Yeah.
So now I think he's delighted he doubled.
Yes, of course. And the 4, I think, can just come in. I guess it could break the 18, but I don't really see a big rush to do that.
Yeah, there's no rush to give shots. Perhaps we'll have to later.
Yeah.
Okay,
6-5.
So 6-5.
Wow, just automatically runs. Could clearly tell.
Yeah, so this was the problem I said. Once you've made the 5 point, you've got 11 checkers there, but you can't close him out.
Ah, okay, okay. But he leaves 6s and 5s to attack and pick up, and there's going to be a lot of gammons in this sequence now too. But yeah,
so, I mean, I don't. I suppose he could have cleared the 10 point, but
yeah,
staying on the 24 is not a recipe to win the game.
right. Yeah, it was the best play what he found there, but I would have had trouble making that one. Feels bold, but I guess for all the reasons you're sharing, it's safer than it looks.
So yeah, I mean, I think the idea is that you had to get into the outfield before black monopolizes it. So if you just do nothing, then black can come off his bar point, fill the outfield, and you'll never get out.
Yep.
So that's really what's happened here.
Radu bringing more checkers into the board to prepare to attack when he runs with the next 6. And this is just going to start crashing as gracefully as possible. 6-4 can leap 1 out if it wants, or it could just play into the 4. That gives up a lot of outfield if we keep the anchor, so maybe it's the time to come to the 12. What do you think here?
I'm not certain, and I think you're right. I think you've got to do this. Certainly, the computer's going the other way. Oh, they're quite close, right?
Yeah, a little bit bigger on ++. I mean, we do create playable 4s and 1s and some sort of attacking to escape game plan with the 4-point board.
Yeah, my tendency is to make your play of coming into the outfield, but whenever I do that, the computer always is kind of hitting me with the concept that white's going to be hitting you when you leave a block behind.
Yeah.
So ideally, you want to make a play where you can move both checkers off the anchor simultaneously, but the dice aren't cooperating with that.
I suppose part of the idea here, too, when we keep our anchors, even when we give up the outfield, our opponent's most likely to just run with 1, and then our plan is just to attack on the ace, right?
That's a very valid point. So you can attack on the ace, and you have that option until white's got his second 6.
Yeah, so in a sense, we have a double shot anyway. Big swing on a 4-1, so he's glad he didn't leave after that shot. Yeah. (5-1) is forced to go now.
Yep, and unstacks to get a new attacker for any blocks on the 1 point.
But he got to wait for white to bury another checker, which is nice, makes things a little less scary. 3-1, what can it do? It can play quiet, but should we go for the attack and try to win this still?
I kind of like his play. I think if I could hit loose and leave 1 blot, I'd go for it, but that didn't seem to be an option. But there was 2 blots if you go that way.
Yeah, it was awful close. Definitely wins more games to hit, definitely loses more gammons, so we're just kind of balancing in that range now. 6-2, I don't think we want to come off yet, do we? I'd rather clear the 7 safely, maybe.
Yes, because white's going to run his back checker out.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just seems like we're getting attacked and gammoned a little too often when we leave now.
Yeah, so I'm
they're
thinking...
tied. Very close. Okay, interesting.
So I was trying to say that black's run out of time, so he was going to move his checker off the 3 point, but 2-1 he can't shift it. But at least his builders have gone deep now, which is going to cost in the long term.
Yeah, how are we playing this? I don't know. It's going to buy a little time to maybe safely roll a 6 and escape if we can keep our opponent on the bar.
Yeah, so if it's double aces, then we point on him and leave no blots. Just how you choose to do that, I'm not certain.
Right, we could shift like 5-3 and then 4-3 twice.
Yeah,
or we could just play 5-1.
That looks automatic to me.
Yeah, it looks the most flexible, probably. Just looking over the different options, though. Usually, filling in the deep points is the best way to like crash gracefully, right? We want to keep getting rid of those.
Yes, exactly. So leaving the gap deeper on the 3 point makes it more likely that you'll leave some blocks in the future.
Looks like he's going to find the best of it here. And easy game for Radu if he enters, and a little bit interesting if he fans. All right, Cat with a chance to roll a 6 and maybe run while his opponent's on the bar now. 6-5 is a great shot for that. Wow, and if he turns this around and finds an 8 cube in this game somehow, that'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, we might get done in 5 minutes.
Right. It could be a quick one. Okay, this is going to fire back.
6-1, so that's an automatic.
Back to threatening to win 8 points for black. He doesn't have a lot of time to pick up that blot, so maybe not. Ace deuce is going to send another back. Okay, a little bit more chances of getting home. So white kind of on the initiative again here.
Yeah, that looks a good play. I mean, he could play 3-1, but I think you've got to cross your fingers and hope that black stays out, and then maybe you can get the other one on the bar for a while.
Yeah, I would have thought so
6-4.
too. I'm not sure why. Maybe
Yeah, so this is nice. Now he's spread out. Now he's 12 away, so he's guaranteed a shot when white gets a 6.
Yeah, looks pretty nice. 6-2. So I think it probably does it safety up a checker and just play with 1, or do we want to try to win this game and hop out? If we're missed on a 4 or a 7, we're looking pretty sharp, but we still have work to do. I don't know. It's not clear to me. Sometimes just safetying up 1 blot is the easiest path home. Don't you think?
Yeah, it looks like playing to win is a good plan. It seems.
Okay. 5-3 misses everything. So this must mean 13-8 and stay back
I
at
had
21.
19 shots there.
That's too many to miss. And now
Right,
white has a thought. Okay. So with 2 checkers to bring home, I'm fairly confident that these are simple takes for contact. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't risk losing his market here.
So like you say, with 2 to bring home, I'd kind of wanted to get a little bit better before I redoubled. But there's a positive here in that when white loses, he's going to lose a lot of gammons, and getting the cube on 8 means the gammon price is going to be quite small.
Yeah, that is interesting reason to get it in earlier. I know too, for reference, that like if we find a 6-3, that safety's 11-5 and plays to the 13, and then our opponent stays back. Like positions like that are still takes even. So I expect that the threat of safetying 1 blot just isn't enough here. The only thing I can think of is maybe linking up with that blot on the 11 and making the 11 or 10 point.
Yeah, rolling the 5 with it. Yeah. So, but there's a problem for white as well, that his board has crashed, so he's got very little to move. Mm-hmm. So it's only 5-1, 5-2 where he can get achieve his goal.
Yeah. Okay. And there's one of them. Which he still might choose to bring it home, but I think linking up is probably best. Yep.
So having the 0.7 away from the anchor or the blot is generally a good place to be. But as I say, there's very little flexibility for white.
Looks pretty.
I do like this play. I think getting both of the checkers halfway home is better than leaving one that's a bit stranded.
Right. So you very well might not have to leave a shot at all after that play, right? You can still win, throw doubles, and get home safely. So
and black might well get squeezed out. He doesn't have a lot of play himself at the bottom of the board.
Mm-hmm. All right, 6-2.
So he's walked into direct range. That looks the right idea to me.
Okay. We want to be up instead of playing behind. Very interesting. Okay. And this looks like a fairly clear cube now, even though with all the racing wastage, the race is closer than it looks. I guess we leave some shots sometimes, but sometimes we just roll a 5 and pick and pass and lose our market entirely,
Yeah, and the worst case is you're going to leave 15 shots.
Yeah, right. We're still a little bit shy, though. Okay, that really surprises me. This feels like it has a very potent last roll kind of situation,
Yeah, so I think it's probably what you were saying, that the race is not 100% here. If you look at the wastage, then it's kind of 9-2. So we've probably got 7 pips of wastage here.
Yeah. So maybe it's still of some value to claim when we get away with leaving a shot afterward. And that changes the dynamics of the cube.
Still, it is very close, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's not vast winning chances, but very high volatility.
Yeah, no real mistakes available.
A lot of the time, next turn, you'll know who's going to be winning the game.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so he's sending it. Okay, they're going to play on an 8 cube. Radu going to snap that up. We could still see a 16 in this game. I mean, not that I want less backgammon, but I just want to. I mean, I want to see a 1-game match. It seems like a lot of fun.
6-5, so 13 shots to win.
Yep, and those just auto win, don't they? They don't get taken. So he's got to hit something later if we're going to see a recube to 16, I suppose. That gets taken anyway.
Yeah, so 6-1. He's got 2 off, but not a very safe position. So I guess he wants Radu to roll a 6 now.
Yeah, and he does. Gonna have to roll some high sets to get back into this. Wow, pretty wild start to find a fairly correct path to an 8 cube.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting game. Mostly challenged on like the checker side. 6-5 takes the checker off. Okay.
So yeah, there was a big tournament in the Bahamas many years ago, the biggest backgammon tournament ever, and Sander played Mochi there in a 15-point match in the first round, and that got done in 2 games.
Okay. That's impressive.
I think Sander won a 16 cube on it, to be honest.
And we're going to resign an 8. All right. Snowman to start, 13 away, 5 away. Always exciting when there's 8 cubes in play.
Right, so that rather changes the complexion of the match. So Radu's got to try and get to positions with gammons, and Cat wants to try and get these holding games and races.
Yeah, Cat gonna have a lot of trouble finding an initial cube, and Radu gonna send it early with any advantage, pretty much. 2-1, I think we're still splitting, even despite those score considerations, but he wants to go for the slot instead, and he's right. Okay, they're tied here. Increasing the volatility and priming potential a little bit with this play. All right.
Yeah, so the 3-point white's made is a deepish point. So it's not too easy for him to do well in a priming game. So I think that's why Radu's play is doing well. That the priming game, if he can get into it, a prime against prime, he's going to be winning that game.
Yeah. One of these exceptional positions where it feels quite clear to break the 8 to hit loose as well. But the double 5s are going to do quite a bit for Catalin here. I guess just coming around and racing. Don't make a new point, but still has 4 checkers back and kind of in the driver's seat in this position so far. But Radu gets to establish the second anchor. That's a nice improvement to the position.
Yeah, so he's made the 8. I would have slotted the 5 again, but that's
after you make it.
Probably the fact that my style is wrong. No, I think the computer likes it basically that if we're stuck with 4 checkers back, we don't mind getting a 5th one sent back at all.
Exactly, yeah. And so he clearly doesn't have timing for the 24 and 23 together yet. So he either has to sit on that and create ways to make the timing, or he has to run off it like this. And a little bit better to just slot and rely on the potential. But at least he's like, in the right ballpark choosing this other path.
Yeah, okay, so 6-5 is pretty clear to me that we want to be running.
Okay.
So
we don't mind our opponent making the bar point, huh? Because we could double hit.
Well, it's just the idea getting the last checker out is so strong. That then you're saying to black, the onus is on you to find some sort of defensive play. That here you can lose it both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're close.
It looks an awful lot like at normal scores we would definitely go for the double hit. But the match lead leads us to wanting to play something a little more conservative. Our gammon value's less. Our opponent's is higher. So the usual trade-off of this like 13% extra gammons for 3% wins would be worth it usually, but not here. And so they are very close still.
So I think the problem is once you're getting into gammonish territory, it's not as though black is going to pass normally. He's got to love positions where he's got a reasonably high percentage wins compensated for by the gammons. He's thinking more in terms of taking a 2 cube and loving any opportunity to redouble to 4.
Yeah. Doing some calculation to figure out what the follow-up's like. I guess thinking about his opponent's rolls. Maybe taking a long look and trying to figure out when he might have a cube if he's actually getting there or something like this. I'm not sure what he's processing exactly. I mean, the plans are just so different, right? Maybe the thing that you need to look at more is actually just what happens if I run and play this stacky position out, That's the one that I struggle to visualize with a little bit more. So, like, how bad is it when my opponent makes the bar point anchor here? How often does that happen?
Yes, I mean, I think he's probably got to roll a 6. I mean, I think he'd settle for a 5, but a 6 is what he needs to make the anchor.
Yeah.
That's
the one that I would want to see. And once I looked at it,
I think this is more his style. This is much more aggressive, but can go wrong.
Yeah, not really going wrong quite yet. You know, I mean, getting hit on the aces.
5-1, I guess 5-1 is a good roll no matter what play you made. So he's got another double 5. So he's running out of good plays with 5s, but I think he can just come down to the 5.
Yeah, I think so.
Bar 5.
I want to think about things like switching to the ace, but I think it's too early.
Yes, yeah. So especially when he's got an anchor. Okay, so he's come in, he's recovered his second anchor. So what's the race like? He needs to be about 100 behind to time this, so he's nowhere near there at the moment.
Right, lots of work to do, but Cat gonna continue the priming structure, forcing him to find some way to time this back game. 6-5, so I think we're just slotting everywhere now, right?
Yes.
Well, he plays them both in. I might have slotted the 3 as well, but okay.
Yeah, your play might be better. This was my instant thought, but yeah, your play is considerably better.
Yeah, the idea there being
the way the computer sees this is that if White's going to escape his backjacker, you want to be hit in the process. So this way we're giving him 2s and 6s to get out without hitting.
Yeah, we're desperately trying to generate timing, and so we just like put blots on all the points where he would run with, right, and force him to hit this way out.
Yeah. So as I say, the idea is that he can't run without hitting you.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. You're looking at the cube. So if you look at the end number, it's 730.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a massive double and probably a pass normally. Well, it's certainly a pass. But the match lead is saying you can't even double this now.
Still a little bit too early, but it is the right mix to stop and think about it. Even at 3-away scores, sometimes at like mid-70s and 30% gammons just happens to be exactly enough. Not quite there yet at exactly 70% though. 1-6. Okay, so still huge timing issues. Now he has freedom. This has gotten a lot more winny, so I think we can really think about the cube now. And yeah, we actually have a marginal pass here. We see the wins jump up to that like a whole 5%. Gammon's about the same, so that would have been a very difficult one for Radu to deal with, I'm sure. But also, I mean, a harder one to find and send to begin with, you know?
Yeah, so typically these...
Oh, what a shot.
Is it good, though?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, maybe we just pass anyway, but it feels like a big improvement, doesn't it? We had not a timed game at all, and now we at least have a chance to establish the 23 and the 21 for a 2-4 back game.
Looks a terrible game to me.
Yeah.
So there's lots of builders, and the alternative is we just clear the back point safely. Yeah, so it's saying it's close.
Yeah, and he is going to take it and play it out. Marginal.
So it's a good double for sure. I mean, the doubling is gaining more than...
Yeah. Well found. It's not an easy cube to send at these leading scores.
So, yeah, I understand the plan, as you said, that he wanted to roll a 1. So he's trying to defend by having a strong board. So he's going to deter White from wiping him out.
Yeah, is it really a priority to make the 2 to do that here, though? I'd be inclined to slot
I think you need the board. I think that's the essential part of the play.
Gotcha. Oh, but he's going to think about just playing like 60 pip deficit, 55 after the play.
Yeah, this just loses.
Right.
I think that's the flaw in the plan.
Yeah, that's too bad. So yeah, then you shouldn't want to take if you're happy to just give up and try to avoid the gammon like this, right?
Yeah, so it's not too bad losing 2 points if you let White get to 3 away. I mean, passing and letting him get to 4 away is not that much worse.
So after we have no opportunity to make the 23, now it's more tempting to release the contact, but still better to stay back.
It's not really guarding a lot, the checker on the 23. It's kind of like the goalkeeper's come off his line. We can slip in behind him if we need to.
Right. That would have been my thinking, but XG at this score still wanted to stay back for contact and just try to generate wins. Fearless about the gammon.
Yeah, so that's the thing with XG. It doesn't actually pay out any money when it loses. I mean, if I wasn't paying any money, I'd stay back for the wins.
Fair point.
Okay, so he's avoided the 3, so he's got in, so he's going to be bearing off. So Radu's concentrating on trying to save the gammon here, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would be my plan. I think the hitting chances are negligible, but the computer always sees things differently.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of his worst role, isn't it, the double 2? I mean, what he wants to do is to get things off the 6 point. That's the first point to clear.
Right.
And double 2 is the one roll that doesn't allow him to move anything off there.
Absolutely. Still risking the double 6's shot. Gets off that now. Should be no shots in the immediate next sequence. Just bringing checkers in. Okay, yeah. No need to rush and make a 3.
So I don't know if it's worth wasting 2 pips to start the 3.
Yeah. I think we have an opportunity if we get a shot to make it later. Might not be the key to winning, So the crossovers seem okay to take here. I'm not sure. It's close enough where a set could make the gammon race kind of questionable. And because it's so low, like he's actually supposed to make a play to win a couple extra gammons there. Very interesting. 2 in. 6-5.
Yeah, so he selected this play, which Mitchie, I think he calls it a 0 play, that there's no numbers leave a shot.
Mm-hmm.
So,
come around. Ooh.
Yeah, so I kind of think he maybe should have left something outside so he can stay for a shot. The danger here is he might actually get squeezed out when he wants to stay.
Exactly, yeah. Saving his 6 was the idea, right? But
yes,
okay.
yeah.
6-1, 5-1, 4-1, and no such luck. Clears the point easily. And now Radu should be able to save the gammon, but...
Yeah, I think it's trivial task, so it's, 10 pips to 5 rolls.
Mm-hmm. So most likely 13 away, 3 away.
Right, so 3 away, many away. I call that Stick's rule. Do you run into that on Stick Rice's side?
Yeah, I've heard that he was telling that for a long time.
His argument was that 3 away, many away is never a double.
Mm-hmm.
So that's putting it very concisely.
Yeah.
So the idea is that gammon price is high for you when you're 3 away. You'd like to get to Crawford with an undoubled gammon.
Yeah.
But when you do double, your threat is to win 4 points, so you have 1 point of wastage. So your gammon price actually goes down when you've doubled.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's without factoring in that your opponent's going to turn the cube to 4 if he's still breathing effectively.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of what I ended up landing on in my book too, is just like, this is the most practical rule. But if you're going to, here's the kind of positions where it works. We'll talk about those if we get to them. But yeah, I mean, really...
Yeah, you've got to get into a position with almost negligible contact and saying sort of, that there's not any gammons and you're doubling just on your chance of winning.
There can be gammons, but there better be a lot of wins. You got to be like pretty much in the 70s, usually 75.
Yeah, so there's
basically the same scenario as last
video
game.
online where he talks about sort of 71 or 74% wins. He says the doubling window opens.
Yeah.
So anyway, Cat's been rolling very well in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Still foot on the gas. Radu can't figure out anything to really get back into this game. I guess he's got the race and checker escapes.
Had a 3-1 to make the 5 point and a 6-5 to escape someone safely, and then a 3-3 to make the bar. So he's actually, if he was calling his dice, I don't think he could have done a lot better.
Forced to blitz now, yeah, maybe that's what he'd pick there too. And no entry, and so this is the kind of scenario where as soon as we're good enough to double, we're going to be too good, pretty much. So I expect Catalin to be playing this one out to the end, unless Radu can anchor up somewhere and he can get full freedom. Misses a cube there. How do you like this, though? These are so hard to find. That's crazy.
Yeah, so my theory on these is that it's kind of like looking for the Maltese falcon, that it's not worth spending a lifetime trying to find something like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would leave that alone as well, and it's really frustrating when I go back and look through my matches and get punished for not sending cubes like that. But what can you do? It's bigger mistakes available than gains in equity for the most part. Yeah.
No, I mean, I've seen matches where people do double these, and it's wrong by like 300 or 500 or something when you get it wrong.
Right.
Settle for losing 30 millipoints when you're on the wrong side of the bet.
Yeah. All right, ace in.
Okay, so I guess if there's a 2-point board, we're going to be hitting loose if we can.
Like here. XG agrees with you by a small margin. Priming not such a bad plan either. 2-4 fans.
Well, we got 6, 8, 9, 12 to cover. Nothing big needed. 8
There's an 8.
Is good. So now we just need to get builders for the 3-point, and we don't think we can find any way that we can get hit with a double 3. Yeah, so this is good. This is just three different hitting numbers.
One enters, 6s, 5s, and 4s, so just a 2-1 looks like it misses. 6-3. 3 can come down, sure. Approaching closeout. A little bit of life on a 3, but still the blitz is on. It'll be hard to follow up even if he does hit once here.
Okay, so 4, 5, 7, 10.
That is an 8.
Avoided those.
Yep. So I don't think this is one of these where it's easier to cover if we switch 5 to 3. So I think probably just 13 to 5 seems fine.
Yeah, so I would look
we can lift.
Look at the bottom side of the board and see that if we're hit, we can't enter with 2s. So I'd like to have a 2 to hit on the 3-point after black gets a 3.
That's an interesting idea. Did you see the bot actually slightly preferred just lifting? And
yes,
like,
yeah.
whatever.
So I think the bot was arguing that we've got enough builders to make this eventually. We don't need to run the risk of leaving shots to do that. So when we can probably do it naturally in the fullness of time.
Yeah. And so we're just going to find safest plays available because the gammon is a lock as long as we don't leave a shot. Though I guess if it gets close enough, he can start thinking about backgammons for the match too.
Yeah, so I don't think there's usually, well, there's not a lot of backgammons when you've only got 2 closed out. It's much more sort of 3 or more, shall we say.
Yeah. There's really not a lot of backgammons, period.
So he's in, so he has come in reasonably quickly, so I think he's got a chance to get off the gammon.
Oh, yeah? Let's see, 7 and 6 is 13, still looks pretty bad.
Yeah, so you were saying earlier the computer usually likes going to the 6-point when you can on gammon saving.
Yeah.
So I didn't like his play with a 6-5. I think the idea is when you have to go deep in a quadrant, it's better to go deep in a quadrant that's further from home.
Yes, yeah, I find that as well. So both out from the back would have made a lot of sense, right?
Yes. So then you effectively get 2 dice to organize that checker to land on the right point.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 3 crossovers either way.
This is brilliant, yeah. If he does that every turn, 3 crossovers, that should be enough.
Ooh. Improves his distribution for him. 6 in, 3 crosses out, okay. Yeah, you're right. There's still some hope here. It's going to be tough, though. Okay.
Well, yes, the difficult bit was getting the 3 crossovers every time.
Yeah. But we had to fade our opponent's doubles as well. No such luck. Much cleaner game in that one.
So I'm not sure what luck you've had in winning matches from 0 to many. So we usually play 11-point matches in the UK, and I don't think I've ever won a match from 0-10 down.
Okay.
And lots of other players have, and my excuse for this is that I seldom go 0-10 down, which is why I've never won one.
That's a better plan, I think. But yeah, the last one I remember was in San Antonio a few years back when Bob Glass went down. I think probably, I don't know if it was a 13-point match or an 11-point match, but went down to the Crawford game early and clawed it back to win against Petco.
Okay, so right, we're at DMP. So yeah, I don't usually do that. I would normally play 29 was my automatic play.
Yeah, it seems like the builder would be very nice and we control a lot of the field, but we're ahead in the race, so maybe this escapes best. They're actually tied, though. Okay, interesting. But this is what it provokes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So one thing about this Crawford game is that gammons are pretty much worthless. So it's very tempting for Cat to hit on the 5-point and say, when it goes wrong, I don't care.
Yeah. I think coming out with the 5 still seems better. I'm not sure why we want to play down there. I know he's thinking he wants to pick up another blot, but this hurts the distribution. We can still hit it with an ace.
Yeah, so as you say, I think he's probably thinking he wants to keep the 6 to hit.
Yeah. And so he gets it. And now what is the 5 along with it? Maybe it hits a second time. Just keep taking the tempo away and try to blow his opponent off the board before they can mount any sort of defense or offense.
Yes, so absolutely. The positive bit with his play is white doesn't get to develop. So at the moment, it's not too dangerous being hit. But if you let white play freely and develop his game, so 5 is easy as cover, and 6.
Yeah, this is less clear because now the 2 hits is good and the 4 still anchors, so we don't really prevent.
So it's kind of like hitting the back one of the 2 blots is usually wrong.
Yeah.
So you fear him rolling a 2 and a 4. You know, if you hit the front one, you say, well, I don't care if he rolls a 2 and gets this backward anchor.
So here, are we just hitting again then? I would really want to keep him from making the 4. I'm surprised he doesn't go for that, but makes the 11 instead. Okay.
Yeah, so I think his thinking is that he wouldn't mind giving white the 4 point and just trying to come home against that high anchor.
Okay. That could be a plan.
5, 4.
Now he's got to try.
Yep. So that was the front one of the 2 blots. So that's why I think it was not easier to hit that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we got? 2, 4, 7, 9 to cover.
Looks like a 7. It's an 8. 2 covers though. Yeah.
Yep. So you'll notice with my commentary, and I look at these things and see how many numbers cover or what numbers cover.
Yeah.
So the idea is that you don't miss a move. When you roll the 6-2, you say, oh, look, there's a 2 that covers.
Yeah. I think that's a really useful thing, too, that I ended up teaching people. That's at some point in progressing your game, you just notice, like, some of your worst mistakes are the plays you never looked at, right? And so how do I stop to think about it? Yeah.
So usually I think there's kind of 3 sorts of mistakes. As you say, there's one is when you never consider the play. Mm-hmm. The other one is when you look at the computer's answer and you think sort of why did I miss that? That's so obvious. Mm-hmm. And the third one is when the computer's play, you look at that and you think the computer's gone mad.
Right. Yep. I don't understand the game anymore. That one happens.
Yes.
Funny. Yep. Oh, look at this. Okay. Catalin performing from the bar, refusing to make it early.
This double 5 has been brilliant for him as the whole match has gone on. He's had lots of double 5s, hasn't he? So what's the plan here? Do we come to the 18? And that's what we'd normally do. But given the fact the gammons don't matter, maybe we try and progress it a bit more slowly.
Interesting. So I would think the 18 for wins
the 2-point anchor is going to be good for the long term. We're going to get lots of hits late on from there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a tricky one with such a weak board. 4-2, we really don't want to risk being hit and dancing against the 3-point board. Okay. 3s must make some containing structure. Yeah, it gets to make the 10 and the 5. Beautiful. We have the option of advancing again, but again, the anchor is not the urgency. It's having structure.
Yeah, so if you look at the race, you can see we're still way behind. So it's not like we want to get into some holding game where we're catching up in the race.
Yeah. 5-2, a brilliant shot to try to run before we have to destroy any more structure. Cat really looking for a 2 to hit. No such luck, but his board's all ready, and he's still got plenty of timing for a 23-point game. So a huge improvement in the last couple of shakes for him. Radu smoothing out the distribution a little bit, still hoping to find a lucky way to make the 5-point, but it's going to be a tall order in this position. Oh, never mind.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's why we put 2 builders there.
Right. 1 comes in from the rear. Now looking for a 5 small to clear safely. No such luck, but we can get to the 3-point and only leave aces. Okay. No other play, really. 6 is forced. Yeah,
so I guess you can play both down.
Ah, okay. You think this is stronger to force our opponent
I'm not sure. I'm just saying that, that's an alternative.
I would not have even considered it. I'm not sure what the upside is.
Well, you have to leave a single shot either way.
Yeah.
So why don't you just leave a 5 and realize everyone's home and you're going to be safe once you've done that, rather than leave 1s and 11s.
That's true. You do leave more shots that way somehow too. Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so he's still got this 0.6 away from the anchor to clear, so he's dealt with that rather efficiently.
Yeah, never mind. Small inner board gap. And Catalin not crashing quite yet, but running out of time in front there.
Yeah, so I think Radu needs to play safely for one more roll, and then he's going to be doing well in this game.
So do we have to play to the ace safely, or can we take one off and play to the 4?
It does look inflexible if we've got all our spares on the 4.
Yeah, that's such a weird play to find, though. I understand this mistake. Usually you err on the side appealing with this particular against the 23 point.
Yeah.
I always do anyway, right or wrong. I take off aggressively. It's just easier to deal with having checkers off, I think, whatever happens.
Yeah, so the computer, I remember I listened to a Falafel commentary when he was saying sort of, oh, the computer likes taking checkers off. It usually likes taking checkers off.
Yes,
so
right.
That's what the computer says. It says sort of when in doubt, take the checkers off, because you win on the swings and the roundabouts. When it works, you win more gammons. And when it doesn't work and you get hit, you can still get some takes or some wins because you've got lots of checkers off.
Yeah, exactly. Always makes sense to me, and it's harder to think through the scenarios where we should avoid that, and so I end up missing the opportunities to play safe quite often.
Okay, so while we've been talking, it looks as though this is drifting towards a single.
Yeah, Radu's going to get on the board after all. It was looking scary.
Okay, so 12 to 1. 1 away, 12 away.
Okay.
So he needs 6 single games. So that would be 1 in 64. But obviously he can get some gammons in the interim. So gammons actually happen about a quarter of the time.
Okay.
So I guess if you've got 6 games, you say, well, I'm almost always going to get 1 gammon, and whether I get the second one or not is the bit in question.
So what is that, like 1 in 32 to 16 or something like that?
Yeah. So I guess we're maybe 25 to 1.
Okay, I like that. 4%.
That's my number off the top of my head. Okay, so he started with a 6-2 split. So I think you can also play 13 to 5 at this kind of score.
Yeah.
Certainly at Gammon Go, you play 13 to 5.
Oh, actually, is that an automatic drop or a free drop score though? So you don't slot at those scores.
when you're this far away, then it's often good to save the free drop and say, well, okay, I can use that free drop later on when the position's in a later game when the position's really bad.
Yeah.
So here you can say, well, okay, I've got the 5-point made. Why do I want to pass this one? I'll keep my free drop for when he starts with a 3-1.
Right, I totally agree with that. What I was pointing out is that you don't slot with the 6-2 because either your opponent hits you.
Yeah, when he's got the free drop, right? You're spot on, of course.
Either your opponent hits you and you stay in the game, or they just pass when you get away with it.
Yes.
Right, so you don't gain on it. Yeah. All right, finds a little over-aggressive play in hitting on the deuce. Plenty of other constructive things to do, like just hop out there. And waiting for a legal roll. As the defender, having an anchor is just monstrous in this game.
Yes.
Advantages all over the place, so looking very nice for Cat. 6-3 hits a checker. Beautiful shot for Radu, okay. But still leaving a blot on board, too, when outboarded. 3-6. Just makes a bid for freedom. Yeah, sure. Why get another blot involved? I guess there's some 4 duplication when we play down to the bar point that looks kind of nice, but can't be too far off here.
5-2. We can't link up.
No.
I don't think we just play safe. Is there anything wrong with that?
No.
And we have a race lead.
Exactly. We can just play a simple game and win that way.
Yeah, and we want to run out with 4s or 6s.
Of course, we're happier to win a gammon, but that's not what the dice gave us, right? So.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Goes for the attack. Yeah, okay. He's got the better board. Why not? I was just immediately
behind
looking
in
at
the race. Yeah,
10.
more checkers back. It's all McGreal's safe, bold criteria. We're pointing towards going for it.
Right.
There's 44, so he can't cover.
I love making the 4-point, and then the 9-point blocks the hits on the 3 pretty well for a return. So this looks nice.
Yeah, looks very good.
As far as non-covering rolls go, but he's going to get hit. 5 can't cover those, so still in a lot of trouble. Just going to make a bid for freedom. Yeah, I don't see anything else to use the 5 on. Needs to dodge a lot of numbers here. 4-6 is a miss. So I guess he'll just play behind probably from the 10, but
No, I think maybe we come out here.
Just see contact. Yeah, okay, with a much better board. I like your idea. Yeah.
Not much in it as usual.
Nice find.
So 6-5, we can play safe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's exciting.
We're ahead in the race. We're just going to race. That's the end of the hitting for the game as far as black's concerned.
Right. 5-2, I guess for that reason, could still find contact here, but safety's up instead. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure the computer's going to want to leave the block there with 2 blocks inboard.
Right. What could go wrong, really, right? So 10-3 to slot the next point. Threes, how do we get the least contact? Yeah, just make the bar point. No need the 11's out of direct range, so that fixes the only one that we really have big problems.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's another play of making the 5 and the 3. I'm not saying this is wrong. It certainly looks attractive.
Yeah, if we make the 5 maybe with all of them, yeah. Then we just
no, but it leaves the midpoint to clear. That's the big plus with your play. That's the clear the points in order is the basic theory.
Plus,
so it's also good here that
later.
Radu's got this 0.7 away from the anchor, which is a really safe point. So whenever you leave a shot, it's always going to be an indirect. And the other thing is none of your doubles are blocked. You often find with these things that when you roll a double that you come to a screeching halt when you hit the anchor.
Yeah.
So this looks crazy, this play, frankly.
Looks creative, yeah. I don't know why we want to get freedom when we're down in the race.
Yeah, so he's doing this just to count the race, to see if he's in the race and whether we're fortunate we've got the pip count in front of us. But he's kind of doing this so he can see whether the race is good or not. So once he's done the counting, he'll conclude that he's got to go back and stay on the 21 point.
I think so.
But it's a reasonable idea. There's 2 blots in black's board, so if you want to run, this is the time to do this double falcon play. It's just being way behind in the race that you're going to lose when you get away with it.
Yeah, it is. It does look to be a little bit better than the. I guess if the race wasn't bad, it would be better. It is still better than the 21-10. Very interesting.
So 4-5. That's back point cleared.
Okay, needs a set of 6s to be even-ish in the game. Now he wants to run one.
Still looking to run.
Wow, okay. This is much closer now. I would have thought to just play in and slot a point and wait
yes,
back.
Yes, you and me both.
Yeah. Very interesting. All right, 20 pips. Now we are even on double 6s. He's getting the 2 pips payback for the open 4.2, right?
Yeah, so one thing I mentioned to you on the previous day's thing is when you keep the 4-point anchor, you stop your opponent going there.
Right.
So you run out with one and you get away with it and he can't point on you. And then when you run out with the other one, he can start filling the point and he doesn't have any wastage in the bear off.
Yeah. Giving up a little bit there. After a very difficult and kind of messy first game, both players' PRs cleaning up too here.
Yeah, that's a good point. As you say, that first game was scarily difficult.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in it. It was a lot of fun.
Well, it was for Cat, I'm sure.
At times it was fun for Radu too. He did have to send at least one of those cubes to get to 8, remember? So he must have liked it at some point.
Yep.
All right, 6-3. So looking likely to get another point on the board here. Another 2 points, that is. And another free drop score.
I didn't like that one. I think maybe I'd have played 5-4 there. He's potentially getting some weakness on 3s. Yes, and the 3s are suddenly getting to be difficult for him.
Yeah, I think that's an idea that comes up when you don't have the 6 loaded up anymore, right? You don't have 3s to play to the 3.
The key to bearing in and bearing off is you need to have checkers on a multiple of every integer. So 1s will play well from everywhere. 2s you can play from the 2, 4, or 6, and 3s you can play from the 3 or 6.
Yeah.
So you kind of look at it and say, well, okay, if I've only got one checker on the 6 and nothing on the 3, I can play 1-3, 6 to 3, and then I can take one off, and then my 3s are going to miss forever.
All right, some small chances here for Cat still, but that's about dead.
Yeah, 2-1 twice and 5-5, 6-6.
6-4 will do it.
It's
okay.
Astronomical. Right, okay, so now he's up to 3. So he's 5 games away without any gammons.
Right. And another
We're
free
still
drop
hoping
open.
to get the gammons, so four games we can win, I guess, and win the match.
Glad to see him making a match out of it after getting to Crawford so efficiently.
Yeah, okay, so it looks like they're taking a timeout.
Okay.
The headphones have come off.
Yeah. Small one here. I think I'll take a small break with him too, but we'll be back in just a moment
so
then.
I can get to my coffee. Right,
yeah,
excellent.
Perfect. Okay, well, thanks so much. We'll be back with more post-Crawford play. Unless he's just picking up a coffee and coming back to the board right away. No, it looks like they're taking a small break. Okay, I'll step away. Hi, everybody. Nick Blazier here, back with another interview, this time with Zdenya Gziska Masayuki Mochizuki, a.k.a. Mochi.
Hi.
Hi, Mochi.
Hello.
Michihito Kagayama. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. And hi, Nick. Thank you for having me.
Justin Knoll. He's, welcome, Justin. Say hi.
Hello.
Thomas Tenland. He is G1 Grandmaster on BMAB. I just looked it up. Current PR of 2.89. Nick Blazier here with another interview with another backgammon community star in Simon Budget.
Difficult positions you have to figure out over the board.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I mean? And it's sometimes it's not easy, and
All right, looks like players are coming back to the board. We're going to get back to it. And,
Right, so yes, last game you were spot on, and I was an idiot in the slotting. So the algorithm is that you have to play safe for one roll when your opponent has a free drop, and then once you've doubled him, you can then play like a maniac.
Right, yep. And so he's successfully played the one safe roll and gotten blasted for it. But good return fire with the double fours from the bar as well.
Yeah, so can I trouble you to do the full screen bit again?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I will, as soon as I get a break from these rapid
you
fire
won't get
players.
a break very quickly with these guys.
There we go. Looks like we got a 5-6 to play over here too.
Okay, so what's the race like? The race is close, so we could try and run out is one plan or make the 3-pointers another, so not clear to me which is right.
I would have thought to run out. I mean, it's the annoying game plan when you're trying to win gammons and get into this match more quickly, but it just felt like the position called for it. Close enough race, slight favorite after we do that.
Yeah, but pointing board is always good when you're trying to get gammons.
He just misses the hit with the 6-2 as well, apparently. Okay. Oops. And now he's going to hop out with the 6-2, unless I have the dice wrong, but I don't think so, because they landed in the right spot. So maybe it was double twos.
So what do we got? 4s and 12s?
Looks like it. Neither gets in. I think we're just playing into the board.
Why are we coming up here? That looks crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We need the contact. So I mean, the 2 I like playing 6 to 4.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
5 to 5, but coming up gives white an easier path home.
That was my first
The
instinct too.
race is close, so it's not serious. It's not crazy getting that guy into play.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'd still rather have him back on the 24 point than if he's doing something, then he's sort of guarding the 1 point.
Yeah, I'm with you, but he's still on this theme of trying to.
He's trying to save a blot.
Yeah. He's still on this theme of trying to get that checker moving for whatever reason. I would have just slotted the 4 instantly there too.
Yep.
4s gets frozen. Okay. Guess we can make the 2 point with it. We could cover the ace. I don't know. Maybe it's better to cover the ace since there's a blot on board, but whatever.
Yeah, so I guess now white's behind in the race. He's got to hit when he can.
Mm-hmm. And he does. Small advantage in the race now. 4-4 is going to take that back over, at least temporarily. And almost insta 5-point board across just 2 rolls. Very impressive. 5-4.
So,
go ahead.
Yeah, we have to play safe here.
Yeah, board too strong. I agree with you.
So
4-2 has to start breaking the board too. I think switching 6 to 4 is going to reconstruct it most quickly.
So Radu's big problem is the extra checker he's got on the anchor.
Yeah.
So he needs to get that guy out to have any chance when in races.
Which, in all fairness, he tried impossibly hard to do.
Yep. Yes.
At the cost of everything. So.
If there was a way to do it, he would have done it.
5-3. Yeah. I think we're just coming into the 5. That looks like a great place for a spare. Get the stack on the midpoint ready to clear. And I hope that you can win a close race here. And if not, then you just move on to 8-away, 1-away Crawford and still have plenty of chances.
Okay, so 9's about him. 6-3, 5-4. 9-3 is a good roll.
Yeah, 9-3 is great. This is definitely the best 9.
Right, so he's got to do the counting. So yes, when he's done the counting, he'll figure out he's ahead and doesn't need to do anything fancy.
Yeah, I guess if he's down enough, he could consider keeping the 10 for contact. But
yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I always wonder with these things when you see the guy with headphones, what they're listening to.
Okay.
Wonder whether it's a Beethoven symphony or whether it's hard rock that they've got going on in their ears.
Yeah, it's always doom metal for me. Just like as close to white noise as possible. It just blocks out all the sound in the room, so works well to limit distractions for me. And if I listen to music I like too much, then it's too engaging. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a fine line. It's like the right amount of boring.
Right. So.
Yeah, why not clear a point? I like this play. Interesting that we should keep that blocking point in front, but it seems like it makes so much sense for the race, but I guess
and
maybe...
the race is reasonably close now, isn't it?
Yeah, so maybe we give up too much like 3-3, 6-3, 5-3 kind of stuff, and would rather have it blocked on those rolls. Interesting. Seems like it's bad for our race to start doing things like that too, though, right? To have to like play behind the anchor to keep the 7. So I don't know, tricky. 5 forced out.
So could be a difficult choice whether to hit, but pick and pass is easy.
That one won't be so hard.
And Radu needs to come in to stay alive, I think.
Yeah, a fast 4 has still got plenty of racing chances, but okay, the closeout's going to about seal the deal here. Looking very likely that Catalin will be the one advancing. 4 in, 5 off. Nice distribution. Tough to leave a shot from here. It was going to be a tall order to make it all the way there, but he was making a climb up the hill. Exciting match from both, though. My respect to any players that can find an 8 cube in there, you know?
Yes, I haven't been watching the clock, but I'm not sure if you can see the clock on your feed as to how much time they've used for this match.
Quite a bit. 14, 12, and 7 minutes left on, so like over half.
Wow.
That was a difficult decision with the bear off, though. I guess like we risk a little bit if we play too safe that our opponent can still just come in and race, so he chooses to keep the board for a roll and take checkers off instead of clearing the 6 for maximum evenness. 5-3 is going to come around. Okay.
Yeah, I think we've all been there when we figured like, you know, we just need to play safe to win this game, and then the opponent rolls the double 6, and the safe play has ended up losing the game.
Right. Yep. Always frustrating. Then you got to convince yourself whether it's the right or wrong decision too, and not like learn lessons that are incorrect from it, from the rollout of 1.
Okay, so 17 crossovers to 8, so it's almost impossible.
A lot of 2 1s.
Yeah. Well, X1 a few times is enough. Yeah.
Okay, he's going to resign.
Okay, so they're done.
Got it. Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. Cat advancing, and we'll find out soon who in round 3 we're going to show on the Super Jackpot and be doing soon. Are you going to hang out with us for that one, or are you done for the evening, Julian?
Yeah, no, I'll hang out for that one for sure.
Okay.
I'm just interested when it's going to be, because I have a suspicion they might be able to get another match on quite soon, because you know, it's not like there's fixed times for these things now. It's a case that they've just got to get in as many matches as they can.
Right.
So, I don't know if you can find out, but I will hang around here, and I'll certainly like to do the next one.
Yeah.
But I might turn up a few minutes late if I've lost the feed at the wrong time.
No problem at all. I think most likely we will start it at 9:30 UK time, so 45 minutes from now.
So that was the official schedule, as you say.
Right. Exactly, yeah. But I'll check in and let you know if anything changes, and we'll send a break for now, and we'll be back with more backgammon action soon. Thank you so much.
Great. Look forward to it.
All right. Bye now, everybody. Or a short break, everybody. Hi, everybody. Nick Blazer here, back with another interview, this time with Zdeněk Ziska, Masayuki Mochizuki, a.k.a. Mochi.
Hi.
Hi, Mochi.
Hello.
Michihito Kagayama. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. And hi, Nick. Thank you for having me.
Justin Knoll. He's, welcome, Justin. Say hi.
Hello.
Thomas Tenland. He is G1 Grandmaster on BMAB. I just looked it up. Current PR of 2.89. Nick Blazer here with another interview with another backgammon community star in Simon Target.
Pick out positions you have to figure out over the board. You understand what I mean? And it's sometimes it's not easy, and it's like you have to be sharp.
I mean, the worst player in my first 5 or 6 rounds was like PR5, so I was like, oh my god, what a day! But then, I mean, the luck turned on the other side, so it was super exciting, and it was one of my best weeks. I mean, the most exciting.
You really get to win, or the guy goes, but what if he hits me back? And I go, but what if he anchors? You know what I mean? Like the fear isn't getting hit back. The fear is him anchoring, you know? And Sanders said that in an interview. And I go, I've been telling people this in lessons for years. I'm like, if he anchors on the 24 point, the guy might end up winning 20% of the games then and there.
What changed? How did you figure out that it was a game worth playing and studying?
Then, maybe I was 17 years old. I accidentally found a book at a bookstore, which is a backgammon strategy book.
Hi, everybody. Nick Blazer here with another position analysis video. This one is about recube action against the three-way player. So trailing against that and how to find these aggressive cubes. It's something that I've covered in my book. Hi, everybody. Nick Blazier here, back with another interview, this time with Zdeněk Ziska, Masayuki Mochizuki, a.k.a. Mochi.
Hi.
Hi, Mochi.
Hello.
Michihito Kagayama. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. And hi, Nick. Thank you for having me.
Justin Knoll. He's, welcome, Justin. Say hi.
Hello.
Thomas Tenland. He is G1 Grandmaster on BMAB. I just looked it up. Current PR of 2.89. Nick Blazier here with another interview with another backgammon community star in Simon Budget.
Difficult positions you have to figure out over the board.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I mean? And it's sometimes it's not easy, and it's like you have to be sharp.
I mean, the worst player in my first 5 or 6 rounds was like PR5. So I was like, oh my God, what a day. But then, I mean, the luck turned on the other side. So it was super exciting. And it was one of my best weeks. I mean, the most exciting.
You really get to win, or the guy goes, but what if he hits me back? And I go, but what if he anchors? You know what I mean? Like the fear isn't getting hit back. The fear is him anchoring, you know? And Sanders said that in an interview. And I go, I've been telling people this in lessons for years. I'm like, if he anchors on the 24 point, the guy might end up winning 20% of the games then and there.
What changed? How did you figure out that it was a game worth playing and studying?
Then, maybe I was 17 years old. I accidentally found a book at a bookstore, which is a backgammon strategy book.
Hi, everybody. Nick Blazier here with another position analysis video. This one is about recube action against the three-way player. What's up, everybody? Nick Blazier back here with your final Super Jackpot matchup for the evening. We're going to have Pete Heskett taking on Raj Jansari in the Super Jackpot. Should be a pretty exciting matchup there. I should have Julian joining me for commentary again here. I don't know if he's...
Hi, Nick.
Oh, he's here already. Okay, great.
Yep.
We can pretty much get started whenever then, because I think they might have started the match already, and we can just rewind on some technical things there. But I think we have free reign to begin this match whenever we're ready to go. So anything you want to say about the players before we get started?
Yeah, so they're both very strong players. So I think early on you covered a match with Seb Wilkinson and Oliver Squire, and they kind of both played staggeringly low PRs. So I think this one is going to be the second best match in terms of PRs. So they're both very strong players. So Raj I've known for many years, and we were kind of competing to be first or second in the UK for a long time. And one year in the London Open, we both got to the semi-finals of the main and the Super Jackpot. So it was very competitive. And Pete Heskett is an advertising executive.
Okay.
So he plans advertising campaigns for people, mainly online. And I gave him quite a few lessons. And even before I gave him lessons, he was pretty good. So I'd expect when I was teaching him, his PR was in the 4s. So I expect he's going to be there or better for this match.
Excellent. Okay, that's very strong stuff. Yep. Haven't gotten to see much of Pete's play, but Raj I've seen on the scene for sure before, and I already know that he's very top player. So, sure, without further ado, we can get over here and full screen and get the video going, and we'll be off with this 13-point match.
So, as I say, I'm expecting that it's going to be low PRs for both people. So, Pete's starting with a 2-1 and splitting rather than slotting, but that's
strangely
pure
enough
personal choice.
Yeah, far enough out in the match scores, I've noticed that XG actually does prefer this for some reason. I don't know why that is at all. But 5-1 is going to counter split, slotting into the double shot a little bit, Rich.
Okay, so 6-5 is a good shot, makes the advanced anchor. Raj needs to come back with something good to equalize, so he seems to have made the 4-point. It's good, so I think I'd still give a slight edge to white.
Okay. Yeah, until black gets an anchor, then there's an open game plan of attacking and priming for white, and no such thing for black, so a very one-way game. But okay, he makes the 22, still a little bit of prime value against that anchor, but the attack's off. 5-1 doesn't do much.
No, so I think I would just do 8-2 here and dump something behind him. Hope for something better next time.
Seems better than giving up the 11 points, I think. I agree. So I would just go for something like this. We have to stack up so tall and put a 6-checker where it doesn't belong in order to avoid playing behind too. So
yeah, so he sees it the same way as we do and the computer does, which is pretty good.
Best of a bad roll. 6-4 can slot the 3 or make the 2. I guess we don't usually like to strip the 8 point before getting some spares off the midpoint, so I think I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6-4. What can this do? He wants to volunteer an ace and some fly shots while his opponent's got a blotting board to make a blocking point. Okay. Guess the other option is to bury too many checkers behind, so I like that. 6-4 is rapidly going to hit out in the outfield. I forgot to count the 10s. Ace in, and 4 can cover, clean up. Cover for the coming contact seems strong. Both of them playing lights out right now. 6-4 gets to link up in the outfield, I think. Or could cover the 3 point.
Cover the 3.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going for making the outfield point.
Yeah.
So it's like we've got the last guy out, and that if we're not hit with a 2, maybe it shouldn't be too difficult to cover.
I don't know what that play B was about. Or play C, I should say. But yeah, my idea being we can link up 2 blots instead of covering 1, right? So, but I guess if we're down in the race enough. No, I don't think we were before that. I don't know. That's interesting. That'll be a fun one to study.
Okay, so 1-5. I don't know what he's thinking about here. I'm going to reflexively think that we need to come in on the one that if you go to the 5, you're inviting an attack.
Yeah, and we're down enough in the race that the contact's probably better there, but it's a hard game to play from there either way.
Yeah, so Raj, stylistically, he always seems to want to bring his last back checker up when he has an opportunity.
Okay.
So the computer's saying they're very close, isn't it?
Yeah, right now he has a slightly better board, and if our opponent makes the 5 point while we're back on the 24, we're not a whole lot happier. So maybe it's the right time to kind of challenge that blot in the outfield. If he rolls a 4-2, that would make the 4 point or something. We get a little bit out of it, right? So there's some upside to coming up. Difficult play.
Well, this is good. He's having a look at both of them.
Yeah.
I think the only thing the computer's saying is if you do come in on the 20, then you should start the 5 at the bottom of the board as well.
Which seemed natural. That would have been what I was thinking too. Seems like a lot of blots around, but so like a double 2s roll. I guess we were gonna. No, we were getting attacked. Okay, maybe that's still. Yeah, does it want to link up? Yeah, he's got the racing lead, so we can just play simple. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So my first thought was to make the 5 and the 4, but as you rightly say, he's got the race lead. So converting to something where there's less contact is going to be in his favor. That's where he's going to win the games when he gets to what I call a race plus position. So it's kind of like you have a race plus some other advantage.
Interesting. I think I was feeling like near done with this game in Black's shoes here, but it's still a clear take, but he does miss a double. It just feels like when you have the racing deficit, you don't have a better board, you're primed, all these things. Like, how are you supposed to win this game with a single checker back?
Yeah, exactly. So there was a great little kit Woolsey came up with, which was if you're not in any immediate danger of being blitzed, primed, or outraced, it's probably a take. So the key word there, I think, is immediate. So it's saying if you're not going to lose the game very quickly, you're going to have enough chances to get that miracle roll to get you out of trouble.
Got it. Okay, that's a nice way to look at it. Yeah, sometimes I convince myself of that same thing by saying it looks like a long game still, but this is market loss pretty clearly, I think. Yeah.
Pete's on track now, so now it's saying it's big pass, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's the race like? Yeah, so we've won the race. And we've got a prime, and we might do some blitzing.
Yeah.
So it's just difficult to see how Black's going to get any hits here before he gets totally crushed.
Letting it go. Does still have work to do in clearing the 16, but not enough work to do. Seems prudent. All right, 13 away, 12 away. Small 1 point lead for Pete.
So I've seen in the past Raj has liked to make the 2 point, but he seems to have changed tactics now and decided that he likes this more.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. More mature play, so it's less exciting.
Got it. And threatening to make points, so the tempo hit feels pretty strong to hit 6-4 there. And 6 gets to cover.
Comes in, makes the bar.
Under the
and
attack.
Now Raj has got to perform. He needs some small numbers.
5-2, not exactly what he had in his mind, but links up all the blots. Take it.
Yeah, so save 4 blots and make 2 points. Can't be too bad.
Right, right. The 22 will be looking to come off of sooner than later with not enough timing to hold it. 6-5 could be an okay roll to do that.
Like yeah, so I'm staying there. I think White's getting squeezed on 5s here.
Yeah.
The 3 point is really good when your opponent's running out of 5s.
Interesting. XG has a slight preference to just park it on the 16 point, which is an interesting option. But I'm starting to see this. The more I pay attention to it, like how often, like it's at least marginally close to just leave the 22 in these early game positions before it gets more dangerous. Yeah. The more I'm just like assuming I'm probably supposed to run here. You know, I'm starting to see a lot more of those.
Okay, so this is key play. So Raj has come off the midpoint. So what that means is White can now control the outfield. So White's plan should be a containment game.
Oh, they haven't figured out if dice on checker is legal or not.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. We're going to re-roll it.
Raj decided it was too good a roll to let White play it. Okay, so he covers the blot. So yeah, question is, should he break the midpoint? And maybe 9s and 10s is just too many numbers, 4 numbers.
Right, yeah. Decent board here, doesn't have the board advantage yet. So, and it could be many rolls to come that he would prefer to have that safe blocking point to prevent 6-4 from running. You know, as soon as we give that up, that's kind of forever. And it doesn't get a builder in range exactly, it just preserves the one on the
what White would like to do is roll some 5-6 combination to come off the 20 point and control the entire outfield, rather than, as you rightly say, maybe potentially move out of the outfield when you break the midpoint.
Yeah, yeah. And now 2-5, he's presented with the dilemma again. Is it time to run off the anchor here? He's just out of time to keep hanging around and waiting. I mean, the next roll looks like it's not going to do too much good, so maybe you kind of want to wait for him to come to you in this position. But
yeah, so I'm not breaking now. So I think White's got this is the wrong time to break. So there's no blots in board.
Super close, and
we can't do it and stay linked.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we survive this, what's our follow up? You know, we just have to roll another 7 next time to get everything safe.
Yeah, I think we hope to just get the first checker home, and then our opponent hasn't made too much of a board in the meantime because their distribution's not so great. This gets to duplicate aces even though we're not linked up. And so even when we're hit like that, you know, like we still have enough racing lead to play with here. So I think it was a nice time before things get scarier to go for it, before we've deteriorated our French position too. But working out in Pete's favor overall, never mind. It's from the bar. Plenty of returns for Raj from the roof as well, though. 5-1's one of them. Which one do we hit? I guess the one that doesn't leave 3 blots and only leaves 1 blot.
Yeah, that sounds like a good logic.
Yeah. Way less returns, too. 2-6 fans. Okay, and now Pete being rewarded for that aggressive run off the anchor. And with 3 back, wow, this is pretty early, though. He's still down in the race and still has 3 checkers behind.
Yeah, so we got 1s and 8s to hit. That's the positive bit. So what is it? 2, 6, 5, 3, and 1s.
Yeah.
So 15 shots and maybe a few things make a point in board. So I think it's a comfortable take for Black.
Yeah, it's actually quite early as a cube, and I feel like the only reason he's sending it is just that common like momentum feeling over the board, right? We just got away with a miracle sequence and a fan on the board, and like, of course I have a cube now. But if we look at this position in
one
a
of
quiz,
our British grandmasters, he had this theory that you have a sequence of hit, fan, double. So it's kind of like, as you say, it's momentum.
Yeah.
You got lucky to hit, you got lucky your opponent stayed on the bar. So now, you know, as you say, the momentum's on your side. The position's improved enormously since you were last batting.
Right. So how can that not be a cube, right?
Yep.
But here, definitely early. I thought maybe the 13 to 10 was a better builder, but okay. For some reason, the 12 to 9, maybe we're using that number to escape.
Yeah,
or
so
something.
it's attacking the 3 and the 4 points, I guess, is the point.
Yeah, okay. A 6-1 gets to make the ace point and use that checker that we stacked up on the deuce. Okay.
Yeah, right,
Nice
yes.
to deploy that builder. And ace-6 fans as a result. Okay, happy to have gotten the cube in now, threatening a lot of gammons.
Yes, indeed. So 2 on the bar against a 4-point board is very strong. So I'm coming out with 1 as he is, yeah.
For sure. And then I like the builder on the 10 here for diversification, but we do get 6s to make a point if we just make the 9. This looks better to me.
Yes, and to me. So
can't possibly both be wrong.
Okay, so what do we got? 2, 5, 6 now. So.
Yeah. Count out to make sure we don't miss. I'm learning that. 4, 2 hits back. Okay, a little bit of life for Raj.
Yeah, so 4 is tremendously strong.
Right.
So we've stopped him making a point, and we've also removed one of the attackers.
Yep. The 6 from the roof is huge as well. Needs to fade this, and if he can't, then Raj going to be a big favorite to anchor up and make this an even game.
Right.
Okay. Now Raj probably actually winning the game after this roll.
Yes. I mean, it needs White to have a good shot to come back in this.
Yeah.
So 5-3, he's in, and he can hit, I'm sure.
Is that the idea? The other thought that I had was maybe 22 and 15 to try to contain the outfield.
Yeah, no. So my instant reaction was if you're entering with on the 20, you have to hit.
Yeah.
So I'm still thinking we have a 4-point board to a 3-point board, so we should be hitting, was my thought.
Yeah. Okay. Bot likes your play too. Would have taken me a little time to figure out. But yeah, this can still work out. Can buy him time to kind of play around the board. I think the 5 needs to come out here, but we sure would like direct
as you say,
attackers and
we're
covers.
definitely running out of timing for things to move.
Yeah.
And now I guess you've got to look at all the rolls and figure out what works. So I like the guy who's back on the 15, because that seems to be giving us a double 6 to make the 3-point.
Yeah, and a double 4, right?
Yeah, so 12 away is going to be good. So is it dangerous if we play 13, 12? So this I hate. And
this
you can't
feels like
do that.
too long of a game. Yeah. Okay. Not too far off though. Really do hate to be hit with the 3, but now he's like down in the race. Yeah, and so this is like a fairly even game and quite a difficult one to play. And you hate to have given the cube away in a game like this too.
Right. So he's got a point. So I'm sure we want to keep that point and find some inconsequential one.
Maybe if this isn't any more shots, that's fine versus 6 to 5. I don't know. 4-1 can cover a point, and Raj's position progressing very nicely.
The double 3 must be good. So we must make this blocking point in front of the anchor.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I'd only criticize the way the order of moves he played here, so I'd make the 10-point and then look for the last 3 rather than do it as he did.
Seems quite reasonable to me as well.
I don't think there is a better 3, having said that.
But you have a choice there at least, right? Always good to leave a choice if there is one like that. 5-2 just brings a checker in, super even race. And 3s just gets to escape with a 4-pip lead, so Raj, in the driver's seat on this one now.
Exactly, yes, his driving seat is what I was thinking.
Blocks double 5s from here too, that's pretty nice. Nothing like a cube quite yet or anything like that, but just,
No, so there's not much in the way of volatility, so it's only big doubles are good for us, really.
Right. Maybe, he can't be more than 60%, probably in the 50s somewhere to win.
Yeah, and he owns the cube, so, whatever the situation is, if the cube was in the middle, you're not going to give it away so freely.
All right, so he's going to give up the outfield control here. It's awfully tempting to just break the 9 instead to me. We really don't want to lose the game to a big set. And so maybe blocking the 5s is better than blocking the 4s. This is going to create more shots, 5-4 and 6-3 instead of 5-5.
Yeah, so at the moment, I don't think it's a problem leaving the shots because of the 2 blots in White's board. The question is, what's going to happen next turn when White covers the blots? That if you've got 1 checker in the outfield, then you're going to be under pressure to save it.
So he gets closer to home, just plays the simple racing game. We have a 5-2. The 5's going to cover. Then the 2's not so clear, apparently. And it seems like he's going to think about lifting again, hoping to get a fly shot this roll, but just plays the natural pure play instead.
So this is what I was saying, that Raj has now got this thing that he's got to save that blot rather than leave the indirects.
Yeah, okay.
So the other thing he's working around is to covering his blot on the 1 point, because that's allowing White the opportunity to run if he wants to.
Yeah. He's glad he chose to block 4s here.
Yes. Okay, so this kind of position, White's I think always got to take when he's got a 4 point board. It's when he gets down to a 3 point board, then suddenly, so that, I think this might be the time to do the switch to do 3 to 1, so you get your outfield points covering your blot.
Yeah, I like that idea. That was probably a little bit tactically better there. Okay, slight mistake, I'm not sure why. But 6-2 is going to try to run. I think we would rather have the chance at making the 5 points still in for the race here. I don't think we have the need to lift it. But he sure is careful about leaving blots on board. I've noticed this about Pete already.
Yeah, so like you, I just want to go to the 12. That the 5 point blot might be an advantage or a disadvantage, but
I
certainly good for the race.
He's actually thinking about maybe I need to reduce shots, but he misses out on returns and board when he comes out like this.
Yeah, so I'm definitely staying on the 5 point when there's the blot on the 1. So it gives Black a difficult task to hit you, make the 5 point, and cover the blot.
It doesn't actually reduce shots here either. A lot of times when there's spares on all these points, then we go from 3 attackers to 2, but the 6 is never hitting you where it is, right? So it's a relatively safe spot to be.
Yes, that's a good point. So the 6s are all bad for Black, so they neither hit nor cover.
Yeah, going to clean up instead. Okay, close decision there. So favors the contact.
So what's the race like? Marge is behind in the race, so I guess he can't double.
I would think so, but wow, okay, with the match trail, he can actually get it in slightly early here. That's pretty interesting. I wouldn't have thought so either. 6-1. Yeah, no switch was going to cover anyway. Just gives up a point.
Yeah, so it's just a bad 6 that you can't do anything with. So now Pete wants to go for the race.
And I don't think he's going to have any sort of cube now without any threats. Yeah, we're back in a 50-50 game after that. So happy after that sequence that he didn't get one in early. Four, 3, 1 crossover either way. Not sure what the best way to do it is. All right, right back close to a cube now. Let's see what Pete can do to hold it off. Both playing pretty sharp backgammon so far. I think the 5 wants to come into the 5, right? No, he's going to stack up behind. Okay.
All right, so Raj has got one off. So he's got a 7 roll position to an 8 roll position.
Yeah.
So I guess it should be doubling this for sure.
Yeah. Actually, a huge pass already, but he's going to skip right by it? Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, so these ones where you're 1 roll ahead, they are generally big passes, because it's kind of like, okay, it's not a redouble if it's a 7 roll position each.
Yeah.
When you need 1 more double, it's kind of like, well, that's reduced your winning chances by 5/6.
Right. Yeah, it's a huge advantage.
If you think, okay, I've got 30%, and suddenly it zooms down to single figures. Still, I did promise you they were going to play well, and they certainly are at the moment.
Yep, holding up their end of the bargain so far. Impressive stuff. Not the easiest of decisions are getting presented either. All right, maybe we'll never play the next game.
Yep.
He was a splitter in the opening, but now that he's down a point, he's ready to slot. Got it. Okay. 4-1, gets to hit, and I guess just step up for lack of an ace.
Nothing else. So this is why I like slotting with the 2-1, that you get a good 6 when you get into this variant. And the unique thing about 2-1 is it's the only opening roll where you're behind in the race.
Yeah, right.
So your opponent has 4 pips because they're on roll, and 2-1 is the only one where you started with less than 4 pips.
Yeah. Don't like parking in front of a shot like this, but that seems to be the only 6 really that.
Yeah, so the positive bit is that if he hits you, he's left with the 2 on the 24 point.
Yeah, good point. This can hit or just make the anchor or make the 4-point. Lots of options here. Maybe I split and make the 4 or something like that. Seems pretty nice too. The hit feels a little weak though. I don't know.
Yes, yeah. Hitting at the bottom of the board is not so decisive. And as you were saying, there's lots of other good things we can do with the 2s. So we could make the advanced anchor or the 4-point. Wasting 2 of them to hit is kind of doing one good thing with 2 dice.
Yeah. All right, no good 6s from here. Maybe we just hop out.
I'm kind of thinking we dump 1 behind. That kind
Seems
of looks
fine.
obvious
Oh yeah,
to me.
there's some good duplication.
Yeah, so
too.
2s.
Okay.
Duping 2s makes sense.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Less hit and covers. Aces. Okay, this is still going to hit.
Yes, it's 2 2s.
Beautiful roll. Ace 6. Now what do you want to do with your 6?
Yeah, now I want to come out. I can't see any alternative now.
We've got the nice double coverage. When we're hit, we still get 5s and 6s from the bar if he leaves the blot there. So we will generally get a lot of returns even when we're hit, which is going to be usually. Maybe not on ace 5. Maybe that is happy to hit twice. Interesting. We have the 9th checker in the zone, but they're not distributed well enough to go for it here.
No, so it's effectively he's rolled a double 2, so
Yeah.
he's got the checkers in the zone officially, but he hasn't gone forward enough pips. So
Yeah.
it's like when you start with double 5, you've only got 8 in the zone, but it's still 20 pips that you can blitz with. But with double 2, you normally have 10 checkers in the zone, but it's only 8 pips. So they're there, but they're not far advanced to do a closeout.
Yeah. More of a priming position for that reason, the double
Yes.
2s. Okay. Yeah.
So it's like when your opponent starts with double 2, you want to split with a 1. You want to try and get an advanced anchor. You're not scared about being closed out.
Wow.
But when he starts with a double 5, you're terrified.
This
Right,
roll
so back to it.
sucks. I think we got to enter on the 24. I'm fond of telling people that it's illegal to put a 3rd checker on the 24, but if there's an exception, this is the one. Pete's going to find the double
Kit
anyway.
Woolsey used to say 3 checkers on the 24 point is death.
Okay. He says death. I like it.
Yeah, but now medical science has improved a bit, I think. So it just says you're on life support at the moment.
Nice instant find with this cube. And I mean, often that 3rd checker on the 24 is enough, like almost on its own, all things equal, to instigate you to send a cube in an otherwise equal position. So finds one easily with that little reference, but also threatening to make the 5, of course.
So and I find positions like this intriguing. So you look at this position now and you think, well, white seems to have played lots of moves, whereas black seems to have just played 2 checkers off his midpoint. He's too close to the starting position. Right. It seems like white's had 4 moves and black's only had 1.
One of the checkers he played off the midpoint, he played backwards too. That's always unfortunate. Yep. So he's lost pips. Lost 6 pips so far from the starting position.
Yes. Yeah.
Quite funny.
So computer says it's a comfortable take, so that seems reasonable to me. So what's the priming threat? There's still the 5 and the 7 open, and what's the blitzing threat? Well, it's 0 because you've got an anchor. How good is the race? Well, yeah, you've got the racing advantage. So there was a British guy, Paul Bamford, and he came up with what he called the Pratt theory.
Oh, okay. He's the inventor of Pratt. Got it.
Which stands for position, race, and threat.
Yeah.
So as far as white here is concerned, you can say, well, we got position because we've done something. We've got race, but what's really our threat? So we're looking for a roll that might make the 5 or might make the 7 or might make the anchor, but we're not going to be able to do all those things in one go.
Sure. And after we do, we still have all the other things to do, like you're saying. So even if we make the 5 point, which seems like the biggest threat to me, then we still have 3 checkers back. That's a big signal, right? The games tend to be long when that 3rd checker gets back there. And then with some gappy structure and work to do, then it just seems like plenty of play.
So here, my reflex was to make the 21 and play 8 to 6.
Okay.
I can't see it does anything at the front, so making the advanced anchor is good, and the spare on the 8 doesn't really seem to be aiming at much there. So making the 8 point, I don't like. It
doesn't communicate with the deuce. Yeah, exactly. That was the first thing I looked at, though, as well, was I just thought maybe advancing and turning those into just points instead of blots could be helpful. But, yeah, not as productive as it looks. We could have done better is the real issue with it. 4 finally is going to get a checker off the 24. And threatening to make an advanced anchor should be very important. Oh, there we go. This is why we made this play, Julian.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I got it.
We didn't want those points. They were just safe places to put our builders on.
Right, for specifically 4s, 3s, 2s, 4, 3. All right, 5, 4. Can't quite close it yet. Maybe we'll make them again. Maybe it's more prudent to play off the anchor, but actually, I don't know. I don't see anything better. I really love making the 9, and after I do that, where's my best 5?
Yeah, so points 5 and 6 away from it.
Yeah.
I'd kind of be tempted to run off the anchor while he's on the bar, but I think that we're both trying to do good things, and it's just which one do you do first.
Yeah, it just looks a little bit loose to run off the anchor. And
Yeah,
we have
so
the easiest
you're
ride home if we make
on
it.
here.
Yeah. The open 3 could be difficult to deal with. But okay, 2 out is a way to do it too. Yeah. All fine. 2, 5 gonna fan again. Okay, double 5s does get to close without even having to make the 8 point. Okay. And something's coming around the bend. I don't know if I have a strong preference of which.
I'd shift the one on the white point so we don't get squashed by double 1, was my thinking.
Reasonable. Yeah, we do get double hit now.
Not much in it.
Yeah. 1, 3. What leaves the least returns? Maybe it could be hitting from the mid somehow. Maybe there's a little more upside
that's
too.
least returns, but it does leave 2 blots.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it? It's 9 1s and then a 6 4 and a double 5, so that would be 12.
Okay.
And if you hit on the 3 points, it's going to be 14, isn't it?
So not a lot more. Yeah, plus you get to keep a point. This is a difficult one, but maybe I would end up hitting him board. I don't know.
Yeah.
Quite confusing. Okay, it is better in the outfield. I guess the merit of hitting in the outfield too, though, is that on the upside, our opponent has 2 checkers back now. And so maybe we've got some offense there.
It gains more in the race, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And we're wiping him out from the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tough play. We don't know.
Yeah.
I would have got it wrong for sure.
Quite close on either side. If I didn't think about it too hard, I probably would have got it right.
So, frankly, I'd be terrified in this position. I'd see sort of 2 blocks against a 5-point board.
Sure.
Raj he's got there just, I think, on counting the shots is one thing, so if this is less shots, then that's a good recommendation in the first place.
Yeah. Only slightly, though, which is what makes it confusing, right? We're not saving a lot for that extra blot, but okay. Finds the best play after all. And here we go with 4-3. Does that hit anything? Doesn't look like it.
No.
So I guess it's least flexible to come in on the 22. Maybe we want to just stay wide open, but either way, I would think I want to play the 13 pass. But this
so I like coming in on the 21 and attacking the blot. I think this is a priming yourself play.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't have necessarily been so happy after the 6-2 being pointed on head, but you're still primed, so you're not happy here either. 6-4 solves all problems. Double 4s not so much. We're already kind of cracking here. I guess all the structure stays, but bad 4s right around the corner.
Yeah, so Black's trying out for 6 here.
Yeah. Ooh, 5s is not what he's looking for. But it holds the structure in front for 1 roll. Still has time to roll that 6.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see who cracks first.
So on the positive bit for White, he's got a more advanced anchor, and he's only got 2 back to 3.
Still probably leading. 4 is not.
So now he's collapsed.
3 of them are 4s.
6 to 2 with one of them, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then which is best to clean up after that? I guess probably 8 to 4 reduces shots. I don't really know.
Yeah, so at least we might remake the 6 this way.
Yep, that too. Yeah. And 3-4 ends up hitting anyway. And cube's gonna work out. The 4 checkers behind a 5 prime and only the ace point, and a crash position for Raj. He was climbing his way back into it, but didn't work out in the end, it looks like.
Right, so Pete's now he can start looking for the gammons. I feel confident on winning this game, so he's really got to stop any of the black checkers escaping. I think that's the danger for him. That if Raj can get one out in a way, that's going to cut down on his gammon losses. So yeah, it's difficult to find a 5 there. And now Raj can just pop out with a 6 and stay there.
Yeah, no such luck. 4-1. Now he can challenge. Maybe just the 1 in the 6 to deuce would be fine too, but okay. 3-2. Plays them both from the 4 point.
So now black's board has gone. We want to play an aggressive pair off. We want to get checkers off rather than just try and keep him blocked or play safe.
Right. Try to win gammons and backgammons by keeping those stuck back there. 2 ready to lift the blot, maybe. I think it keeps his 4 point intact the longest. I would have liked that 3-1. It goes for the 4-2 instead.
Yeah, so it's this blot on the 3 point. How are you going to save it?
Right.
How can you cover it? The reinforcements is a long way off.
Yep. All transposes with double 2s though. 4-2. No real safe plays available. We're stuck with
it's
something
not
ugly
his best, but
maybe he'll clean it up next roll. 6-2 is a big shot for Raj. Super happy to just get one of those checkers moving instead of crashing further. And 3 up seems good. The deuce, I guess, is going to come off the 5. Yep. 6-5 gets to run another. 2 crossovers. And 4-3, shot time.
Yeah, so 4 is forced, and then 3 is forced as well.
Nothing doing with the aces really there. 6-2 can't clean it up. We reduce shots by playing 5-3, but maybe long-term safety calls for 4-2.
Yeah, so not clear to me.
Yeah. Looks like the bot preferred the shots now. 5-2 though, I guess maybe it's still better distribution just to take one off.
Yeah, so we could have just taken one off, but yeah, with 6 left, I think we're getting more backgammon threats this way.
Yeah, maybe more gammons too. It's a whole roll. Yeah, 98%, okay. Generally winning the gammon. Only 4.2%. Backgammon's okay, he's going to run off and try to save the BG at least. Doesn't want to risk the set. Not likely to be able to do much with a hit anyway. So
yeah, very good point. So it's even if he gets the shot and hits it, it's the best he can do is hope for saving the gammon.
Wow. So he rolled poorly enough to not even be able to hope for his opponent to roll an ace. There we go. We'll continue on to 11 away, 8 away.
So the lead 3 points.
Yeah.
There's still a long way to go.
Right.
So I guess it's effectively 3-0 to 11. So it's getting close to the stage where Roger's got to be a bit aggressive, but not critical yet. So I mean, I think he'd be quite happy to win 1 or 2 points in the next game.
One's gonna hit.
The 4's optional here.
Yeah. I always think to play down as a theme after I strip my 8 point, but I've seen it prefer the split often enough. I don't know. Probably a lot of tactics in that.
Yeah.
Tactics in shot counting, which I'm often too lazy to do. Just looking for strategic themes.
Yes, you and me both.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Making the 10 point is a nice little asset there. 5-1 gets to hit from the midpoint. Not a bad shot.
So this is probably automatic for us, but the idea of breaking the 8 point and then attacking when you've only got 8 in the zone or 7 in the zone is wrong. So you have to settle for trying to get something a small plus from it rather than going all in and getting a big minus.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is 4-3. That doesn't seem to do anything great, does it?
Yeah, I would have thought just hop out to the 18, but here we are after you were just explaining how you don't break the 8 to hit. That seems to be what we have, right? Very interesting one. I can't find this.
No, I can't find it either. But there are bad sixes for white. I think that's the factor that's different here.
Interesting.
That once you hit him on the 5, there's a lot of the bad sixes. So 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6 do nothing.
6-5, not so strong either way. But I guess it links up to the 13 and runs with a big racing lead.
So just save one.
Simple.
So we do have a massive race lead. That's
Yeah.
That's the way we're going to try and win the game.
Did feel like with that 3-4 from the bar, we had to provoke something. So I guess the provocation he found was to play 13 to 9 and hope on the upside he can attack and make board points. 5-3. Usually we don't prefer to switch the 8 to the 3-point here, even though it's a board point. Yeah.
I would have made the 3 automatically, but I can see the logic behind your idea.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'd be probably slotting the 5 like this, but the distribution's not great for it. So maybe in the tactical melee coming up, it's worth just having a board point.
Yeah, I think that's it. That we've got 2 blots in our home board, and
Yeah.
if we had a more stable position, we could play more for the long term. But here we need to worry a bit about the short term. Okay, so we can't play this safe.
Yeah.
So how about we save the blot with a 1 and then just hit on the 2-point?
Oh, that seems nice.
I guess he's looking to see if there's anything better than that.
Yeah. Okay, wants to leave it on the other side instead. XG likes your play. Yeah, it's fun to me to look at that 8-point play quite a bit. I guess looks like we should make the 5 and then find some contact with the back checker maybe here.
Okay, so this is an interesting play. So we can play it all on offense, or we can get the guy on the 22 out.
Yeah, I think we're down enough in the race that we can just do this. In my instinct here.
Yeah, makes sense.
I like it. 2-1. Guess we're just still trying to play safe somehow.
Yeah. So again, we're way outboarded and we're way ahead in the race. Everything's saying just live with the fact it looks really ugly.
Yeah. I don't think that Raj actually wants to reduce contact by making this point necessarily.
Yeah, so what else do you do is the question. So if you're going to break the midpoint, then maybe you need to worry about the 2 blots in board.
We could come 22
so you're right.
Idea too. Yeah.
It's something I mentioned yesterday, this zone of no contact. You left now the 1 and the 2 points that he can play difficult roles on.
Yeah, and already pays off.
He's demonstrating how to do that.
Yep. 6-4. Okay, but now that we've done it, we can make the 4, play off the midpoint. But it sure is... Oh, he doesn't want to do that. Okay. Yeah, start next point. Sure, I guess the ace doesn't hurt too much up there. But this is a double anchor game. Something I learned very early on is that it's very hard to play a back game without the midpoint and that timing bank there. You just tend to run out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching one match with Falafel when he was annotating it or commenting, and he was describing the midpoint as your spare tank of gas.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that. So important to have.
Once you've run out of checkers on the midpoint, then everything stops.
Yeah. 6-1. Okay, holding the position for now, but something's going to have to go soon for Raj.
He's got to hit next time. It's kind of where he's at.
No such luck. I think we can just bury to the ace comfortably.
Yeah, not ideal, but we can't leave any shots against Black's board. Okay, so Raj has got to jump. So he has jumped.
Yep, off the front. And still we have a good 22-point game here, so I guess this isn't like a big disaster.
So
better than cracking.
White's got to make the 4 and the 5 and save his blot.
Yeah. Some awkward 5s he could have rolled there. 6-2.
Okay, so he's made the 4. That's one of the things on his to-do list.
Beautiful improvement. 6-2, I think we don't want to be attacked on the 20, so I'll just get that out of the way.
So is that true? I mean,
I don't know.
I'm thinking the blot on the 2-point is maybe he can't hit cover and make the 5-point. And if we move off there, then suddenly it frees up his checkers on the 10-point. They can go anywhere.
Yeah, very interesting. Very close.
Okay, so it likes coming out, right?
It did. I think so. Even though he does have that back there, maybe we're not going to make the 5-point as often, but we will hit and continue to the 2 and cover that way plenty of the time, So
okay, so race lead is good. If we can just come home safely, that would be fine. But
Yeah.
I think there's quite a lot of grief here. I think I'd like to have a look at this one, frankly. I can't see. When we've got the anchor, we're not really going to get gammon too much.
Yeah.
There's 4 checkers gone past the anchor. White's got a lot of stripped points, so it's not going to be easy for him to play unless he gets something great.
Yeah, I'm with you. This actually could be a difficult one to find at the score.
Yeah, so, I mean,
even
the
odd
computer's
playing in
saying
our
you
favor.
can't go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. With the take pass. So I guess because we can let him pass to an odd away score is probably why it's like reasonable to let go here. But the numbers look like, right in the middle for normal scores.
Yeah.
Always interesting when we land so tight in the window that even odd idea plays. I don't talk about that in my book at all. It's something I've heard of, but it's like a secondary effect, So I really tried to stay focused on like the major things in the book, the ones that you really got to know.
As you're saying, there's 2 effects. So one is, are you behind a lot or ahead a lot?
Mm-hmm,
So if you're behind a lot, you want to get lots of gammons. If you're ahead a lot, you want to play lots of holding games.
Yeah.
And the odd even, it comes to the fore in positions without gammons, and especially when you're getting to 2 or 4 away. So 4 away is really one of your targets when you're starting a match.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I actually like to argue too, though, that it's not about the magnitude of the lead almost at all. It tends to be, maybe I could come up with a position where that's the case, but it's always, the relevant thing seems to be proximity to match end, which does happen to occur when you're in a big lead, like 13 away, 3 away. But again, the important part of that is the 3 away. And so if we extended that out 20 more points and we were 33 away, 23 away, well, then I don't know how much we'd adjust the match, or the cube in the initial. Probably not much at all.
So as you say, the point is that there's a question how many points you need to win the match.
Yeah, and what happens with that is the gammon value gets
10
weird.
to 25,
Yeah.
you still need 15 points to win. You can't say, well, I'll expect to get all of those 15 points one at a time.
Right, exactly. But yeah, so when the things really start to change is when like the recube's going to change because we're getting close, and it's going to change gammon values, and all this stuff happens when we're right up on the edge of the match there and risking some sort of point overage as the leader, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it could be a 50-point match, and then you'd still be adjusting a ton to a 32 cube, potentially, right?
Yes.
Depending on how high we got
your
up there.
gammon value is going to go down to close to 0 then, if you're saying, well, okay, if I win a single, I'm 32-0 up, would be enough for me to be confident.
Yeah.
Even the way I play.
Got a lot to play with there, huh? I haven't looked up in the match equity table lately what 32, I guess 18 away, 50 away, what the match equity is there. It's probably pretty good though, right?
Yes. So there was a British guy, Rick Yanofsky, who came up with a good formula on these things. It was Marge seems to have passed, so he couldn't go wrong. 85 over t plus 6.
Okay.
So t is the number of points the trailer leads.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we'd say t plus 6 is going to be 56.
Okay.
And 85 over 56, I guess, is about 1.5.
Okay.
So each point lead is worth an extra 1.5% match winning chances.
Ah, okay. That sounds
good. So 32 points lead would give you 98% match winning chances.
Okay. That must stop working very quickly then. Because we'd be over 100 if we got
so what have we
2
got?
more
We've
points.
got 3-4, 3-4, right. So Raj trailing on the match. He played the building play rather than splitting.
Yeah.
So that's the right idea. So double 3 is brilliant.
Hit to make the 5, I believe. But always
someone said it's not good for your PR to roll doubles like this.
Look at this.
It's good for the position. You can't misplay it. You can have a great position whatever you do.
Yeah.
You can't find the top play the computer likes.
It is always hard for me to differentiate between whether I want to break the 8 to make the 5 here, unstack to the 3. I would say actually tend toward the 3 more often. But with 3 checkers back in a longer game, my instinct actually here would have been... I mean, we're going to get so many returns when we get hit with a fly shot on the 8 anyway, too. So I'm just making the better point. I'm surprised that unstacking is better here. Maybe our distribution's really good to follow up and make the 5 point anyway?
So my default value is that...
Oh, look at this play.
You want to make an extra point. So 3 points is better than 2 would be my logic.
This is an interesting play B to just spend it all hitting in the outfield.
Yeah, so that I'm guessing wasn't high on the computer's list.
I don't think so. Yeah, just too much we could have done there. 4-1 gets the anchor up.
Yeah, so Seb used to explain to me with doubles when he said what your objective is with doubles is you want to do something good with each 4 parts of the roll.
I like that.
So
yeah.
You come in, you hit, and then you say, okay, I've got 2 threes left, let's make another point, rather than I'll come in and use 3 threes to hit.
I love this play here. I was thinking about this. I want to make link 15 to 9, and usually I don't want to give up the midpoint, but it interacts so well with the 21 here that I think I like the blocking structure. Yeah, this is a nice find from Raj.
Yeah, wow.
Not the easiest play to make, especially when we're stranding 2 checkers back on the 23 and 24 like this. All right. I think now we can unprime ourselves by hopping out to the bar and then make some sort of point somewhere. Yeah, just make the 3 point seems fine. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Can't leave a direct from the 8 here, or don't prefer to when we have such a nice alternative. Whoa.
No, so I mean there was an alternative to play out from the 24, but then again that makes black's play very easy. Okay, so 3 is clear, and then we anchor or hit.
Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice it. I just automatically was anchoring here to play a mutual holding game with a slight racing lead. We're slightly outboarded. Seems quite strong, but okay, I guess he just wants to leave it with the racing lead anyway. Yeah, and that's XG's preferred play by quite a bit. I suppose...
5-1 hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about some match considerations too, trailing 11 away, 7 away, and wanting more volatile positions. 5-6, I don't think that's a huge effect here, but possibly. 5 enters and 6 safeties up the blot with a 20 pip lead. Things looking good. And with these extra 2 blots back, if Raj can start making board points on head or anything like this, he can be in a very threatening position very quickly. 6-4. Good.
I'd like to come off the 20 here.
Yeah.
That seems to be that's a target, whereas the guy on the 24 is...
Sure.
You don't care if black attacks you there.
Right. We want to keep big contact zone. So if I see people make plays exactly like this. I was going to say, I hope he doesn't make this. I think your checkers are just too bunched up here, and you're so likely to want to leave one of these points anyway. You really reduce your contact value by making the second anchor. Okay, I'm crazy, though. Oh, we should actually make it and then just leave the 18 right away. How do you like? That's a really nice play.
Wow.
That's hard to look for. Okay, okay. But yeah.
I see. So we make the 12 when we go there. That's the idea.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And then we've got both midpoints.
But after saying that I really didn't want to make the 20 here, it actually shows up as one of the top plays in most variants. But, I mean, the normal play looks like 20 to 14 and clean up 12 to 8, like you were looking for, too.
Yeah, so it's...
pretty close.
It's not right, but it's not wrong by a mile.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so... Oh, right, he's looking at this now. No, so no.
Yeah.
I always say to people, when you make a play... When you figured out what you're going to do, so play the first half and then see whether you've missed whether it's another good 6.
Yeah, yeah, very interesting. All right, well, the interaction with the 10-9-8
neither of us have the imagination to give up the 18 point, I think, is the answer.
Yeah, if I was insisting on making
Radu always likes to creep up here. He always, if there's one flaw in his game, he seems to concentrate too much on moving the back checkers, I'd say.
Can't be bad here with 4 checkers back, but yeah, I wouldn't be looking for that play either. I'd be looking for a 6-4 like this. So look at this. It's right to creep up here, but in this one he misses it. Okay. Funny how that goes.
Yep. Okay, so now we're seeing the problem of the plays we made last time. It's having the 20 and the 18, but they don't work together.
Too much locked up. I'm almost instantly hitting on the 5 here.
Yeah, that's good.
I would have thought the 13 to 7 to get in the zone, actually. But again, yeah, we break the wrong anchor. We prefer to have the 20. That's so interesting. I wasn't paying attention to that. Having it right in the middle, all this structure seems strong, but I guess Raj does have mountains threatening to attack. And so the 20 is just too valuable here to let go of. Very important feature of the position that's just kind of difficult to see, I think. Creeps up. All right, 6-2 could make the 5 point, almost has to. But we're under a lot of pressure to be pointed on here too. So maybe he's going to think about, is really 14 and 3 an option? Do we have to play that
Yes,
safe?
I mean, he can play safe, and the race is about level now.
Oof. This is, you hope no one's watching when you make a play like this, but it's a nice find, right? Doesn't look like backgammon.
Yeah, you don't get hit very often after plays like that.
Yeah. Man, that's a tough one to just skew the purity entirely when you have the option of making a slotted 5-point. Just very difficult to pass up.
Yep. So it's wrong by 60.
Yeah.
Not a vast number.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's going to find this.
Very impressive.
That is a brilliant play. So
yeah.
It's very easy to say people make brilliant plays when they leave loads of blots and shots, but sometimes the brilliant play is leaving nothing.
Those are the hardest for me, the lifts, man. Like, I just don't find them.
Yeah. As I say, it might look ugly, but it doesn't get hit very often.
Right.
Okay, and here's the reward.
Yeah.
You don't leave any shots, you don't get hit very often.
Do we want to, make the 9 or stack up the 8? Both seem fine. I guess less points.
Yeah, I like the 9. It stops back running and it gives us another safe landing spot. So now we're going to have to call in the auditor and see what the pip count's like.
Only 7. I think he's going to find roll on pretty quickly here. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this 7 is not enough to double in a race. So again, it's useful. We've got the pip count. He's got to do the work. So I can understand why he's stopping. So yes, I saw one of your videos in a break I had about keeping a running pip count.
Yeah, okay. You watched that one.
And I liked what you said, that I'd actually done the same thing myself. So there was a British guy, Ray Kershaw. He wrote a book of backgammon oddities.
Okay.
And I gave him one of those as to which roll can gain you the most pips.
Wow, I don't know.
So, I mean, you know the answer because you're saying that the pips you gain is the point from which you're hitting.
Right. So I guess you want to be on the bar to start.
Yes, that gives you a 25, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what we're going for. I thought which roll, he said. And I was like, I guess 6s has to be it, but is this a trick question?
So actually, any double that comes in from the bar and hits 4 checkers is equal first.
Yeah. Well, it has to.
So, right, he's doubled. What's going on? Oh, so he's got further ahead. So he's 13 ahead. So he's doubling.
But still,
so that's
way early.
10% plus. But
I missed the roll
I'm not sure it was enough.
Nope, not quite.
I suppose there's no gammons here, so there's some logic, but it didn't jump out at me as a double.
Yeah.
So Black's going to have a take in a race, and he's also got potential shots on the midpoint.
Oh, your puzzle distracted me from transcription for a moment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I started to think about, wow, what would this situation and roll be? You can never get 25 with each of them, though.
No, so it's 25, 24, 23, 22.
Yep. I was starting to figure that out and then realized I'd missed a roll. So I got back on the job.
4. That justifies his double on itself.
Yep. Beautiful. 30 pip lead after it. Playing out nicely.
Okay, still a bit of contact. But there's an awful lot of checkers gone past the anchor, so very little flexibility.
That's a nice clearing roll. Puts spares on the points that give the most time to clear the 8-2. This looks like 6 in and 5 to the ace. Doesn't look like the time to run off the anchor quite yet. We can still be attacked right now. Want our opponent to play behind a little more first. Makes the deuce twice. Lots of dead checkers now, but the board's pretty strong. Aces is one of the few rolls that holds for one more roll without cracking.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have had a 6-5 and get in the race.
Okay. Was it that close? Yeah, 17? Okay. Didn't realize he was gaining so much, but the 6s fixed that. Definitely going to wait one more time for the 6-1-5 one.
Yeah.
Otherwise dead in the race here. Hoping to avoid a 6 to have some more winning chances. Happy to crack the board a little bit and win with the 5-point board should he get so lucky. And 4-3 is going to clear all the contacts. Oh, he takes 2 off instead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you, I'd be clearing, but I guess he's getting so many off that.
Yeah.
And Black's squeezed out, isn't he?
Yeah. Has to leave on 6s and 5s anyway, so probably right. Yeah.
Okay, so this looks as though it's about over. So that would be 8-2. So
wow.
5 away, 11 away. So
yeah, hugely.
That would be 6-0 lead in an 11-point match.
Yeah.
So points in an 11-point match are usually worth 5% match winning chances each.
Okay.
So it divides beautifully. The 85 over T plus 6 is 85 over 17. So it comes in at exactly 5.
Got it. Okay. That's a reason to play 13-point matches then, huh?
No, that's the reason to play 11s.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
13s are horrendously difficult, but he's got it down to 6-0 and 11. So 6 5s are 30, so we can say the match equity is 80-20 near enough.
Okay.
So 6-1 for both players.
Mm-hmm.
So Pete's got the service here. That's his advantage.
And 6 down when we make the bar point. We love to reinforce that with a spare often.
You get a free builder. You get another builder to make the 5 or the 4, and you leave 0 shots doing it.
Mm-hmm. Fine splitting play with the 5-1. 5-3 doesn't get to make a point. What can it do? I guess can just top out.
You've got to run something out, I guess.
Yeah, that's annoying. What else do we have though? Oh, staying back in 13-8's an idea, but I just want to keep that last spare on the mid, buying me time to escape. 5 away, 11 away. I remember doing some work for the book to try to figure out what like end match score this is like, and it plays pretty similarly to our most sensitive like 4 away, 3 away type scores.
Yeah, so I looked at this, and I recently did a lesson for someone on reed cubes.
Yeah.
And you remember last time we mentioned.
Mm-hmm. So this looks like a reasonable double here, by the way.
Yeah, so
we're going to cruise by a pretty big one there. Yeah, but go ahead.
What have we got? Have we got a 5-1? 5-2 doesn't do everything.
Nope, it gets to cover, leaves 6s from the bar, or it could link up in the outfield. Interesting. 2 good options. Okay. I don't know. Oh, we could just make the ace point. What am I talking about? Isn't that like, why do we need to leave shots on board or anything?
Yes, that sounds a very good argument.
So hard to see those plays. Of course, all right. So he's right to still be looking at this structural advantage and just like most of our escapes done when we are missed. But yeah, my first thought, this covering from the 8 just like looks so weak, the deuce with it.
Yeah. No, so well spotted on making the 1 point. That looks to me like a good play.
Yeah.
The reason is because we haven't cubed. We're saying, okay, we just want to be in a good position to cube next time.
Yeah, right.
So that would put me off the 22-15 on the basis that if we get hit, then we've lost our cube. But if we don't get hit, we've missed our market kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. Ace 3 gets to anchor up. No cube here. Beautiful to make the 22. It's especially valuable once your opponent has some point behind it. 3-4 can almost link up, not quite. Right combination number. And 5-3, another kind of useless roll, I guess. Oh, it does get to point now. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's not too bad. We're happy to give up the 8 there to make the 3. On head. Ace in, 6 down. Black all out of timing. Really needs to run past this structure quickly. 3-1 makes a nice blocking point. And the dice playing themselves mostly for a couple rolls here. 4-2 going to make a nice improved board point too. And 4-1 looks like some sort of decision, but maybe there's not a lot other than just 13-8.
Yeah, so 13-9 and A1.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is wrong. But,
Sure. Double 2s makes a beautiful blocking point in the 9. I don't think we want to switch to the 5, but that's an option too. But the priming value just seems too strong here. Very close ideas there.
This one well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was tempted by the 5. The 5 is always good, but the idea is that we stop white doing too much in terms of priming us.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he's turned this one round. What's he looking at here with 2-3?
Did he use the wrong checkers to do it? Yeah, that's all.
I see.
Yeah. So just made an illegal play. Raj caught him.
Right.
Yeah, I'm so used to at this point when our opponent has a 22 point looking for ways to make the 9. I know how strong that is. And this seemed
Yes.
like it could be an exception position where maybe making the 5 would be better because we're not really hoping to prime here. We're hoping to escape and just come home, you know?
Yeah.
But interesting. Seems like it demonstrates the extreme value of that point that even in this 26 leading race, we still prefer to have the blocking point and just limit our opponent's progress there.
So, as white, have we got anything?
I think when we turn this into an attack or a prime, that our opponent still has counterplay, so it doesn't feel like yet. Plus, we're way ahead in the match. So I'm just going to rule out a cube there if I'm not certain about it for money right off the bat.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's 5 away is the case that, you know, you roll something good, you miss your market, you get to 4 away, you're not unhappy with things.
Right, right. And so it looks like we actually are squarely in the middle of the market for normal scores and money and things like that.
Yes.
But
yeah.
I'm not sure I would find this cube even there, so it would be easy enough for me to wait just for that reason. But we're closer than I would have guessed as a result. So misunderstanding the position more than the score here.
So I guess we got 15 covers. They all work, don't they? All the 5s.
Yeah, it does look like that. And then our opponent doesn't crack right away, but likely to before we give things up. So maybe that's good enough. I don't know. It's hard to see, though. We really do have to look like 3 rolls ahead for this one, don't we? Because it's not going to be over next roll even when we make the 6 prime.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. I mean, it depends what you get with the 5.
Yeah.
But black's very sensitive at the bottom. He doesn't have that much to play.
Yeah.
So good spot by Pete to take some time to think about it.
Yeah, the prime is pretty threatening, but if he has to attack instead, it's not so good, right? Okay, our opponent crashes some here. Maybe making the deuce point is better.
Yeah, so like you, I was making the deuce. So now he's doubling.
Yeah.
And he's got his point. He's got 4 away.
Yeah, interesting. It was close to too good. It was apparently on a low ply too good after breaking from the 8. But he's going to let it go. 4 away, 11 away.
Yeah, so 4 away, as I've been going on about, is a very powerful score that you're threatening to win the match in one game. And,
right.
You know, so you can take a 2 cube and get to 2 away, or you can take a 2 cube and win a gammon.
Yeah.
Or you can recube and use all the points.
With this big of a match lead,
5-2, Rod split. I think you should be coming down, shouldn't you? I mean, normally the plays are close, but
probably, yeah.
Okay, so double 4. Score is saying it's all offense.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
So he's doing this, and I would have been tempted by the 9, but I guess we're split at the back. We're in danger of being attacked.
Yeah. 5-3 gets the point on head.
Holds off the cube for the moment.
Yeah, the interesting thing with this big of a match lead, though, like, so the 4-away gammon value is higher than other scores, but still lower because of the big lead that he's got. I'm not sure what it balances out to, but it might not be higher than money at the score, actually. It's kind of interesting. I'd have to look it up. Do you happen to know for sure?
No, but I do have a rule that gammon value is at its highest when it wins the match exactly.
Right, yeah.
So my hierarchy is that it's at its highest when it wins the match exactly. It's high when it gets to Crawford.
Yeah.
And rule 3 is just 1 point of overage negates this.
Yeah.
So if you win 14 out of 13, the 13th point is super valuable. It's worth twice as much as normal, but the 14th point is worth nothing. So they cancel out. You go back to your normal 0.5. So something happened here.
Clear cube for money, and I think we still have to adjust to weight at the score. But look at this. Just because the increased gammon value, it's still okay. Still a trivial take. So 36% gammons and the increased gammon price aren't enough to keep our opponent from taking. But these are really difficult to find. It's kind of fun to just roll on.
So again, I'd point the end number is 862. So it's kind of saying, like, if you were doubled in a money game, you'd run a mile instantly. Okay, so 2-1. Can we make the 23? That way we have the contact, the anchor, and the direct escape route. That would be good.
Yeah, the problem with the increased gammon value and sending it here is that any sort of turnaround potential in our opponent's going to be happy to cancel that.
Yes, and as you say, then when he recubes to 4, our gammon value's gone down to 0.
Right. So very expensive recubes. that we got to be very wary of.
Yeah, so I think the answer is you have to have wins and gammon threats.
Yeah.
You're not doubling on the gammon threat. You're doubling on the basis of saying that a lot of the time I'll just win 2 points.
Wow. And
Okay, so he's got there. He's doubling. Right, so I think we snatch this would be my instant thought.
Yeah, a lot of times at these trailing scores, like near the match end, like the way that I find these is I just try to figure out if I have enough wins to take and forget about the gammons.
Yes, yeah,
and
exactly.
assume the recube is coming. Yeah.
When you look at normal doubles and the gammon-free positions, the trailer's winning low 20s percentages.
Yeah.
And when you're in gammonish positions,
Ooh,
the trailer's winning low 30s.
Yeah.
So this was kind of between the two. This was high 20s.
Yeah. And Raj just doesn't want to risk giving up the match on one game like that, so he's going to let it go. And move
Understandable. I mean, you, as you're saying, you're basically betting everything on that one when you take it.
Yeah, psychologically it can be a bit scary. A lot of players have the exact opposite instinct. Like they have the opportunity to gamble it all on one game with a giant deficit. But
yes.
Most experienced players tend to wait a little bit longer.
So 4 away was the bit that made it scary. If it was 3 away, I'd snatch it in a second.
Yeah. Might even be recuing quickly there.
Yeah, exactly.
I did look it up, and the 4 away, 11 away gammon value for the leader on a 2 cube is 400 as opposed to the regular 500. So it's still a little bit less just because, I don't know, it's just this funky effect where, like, the points at the end when you have a massive lead are just not worth that much because you're going to win anyway, I guess.
Yeah, so if you win an undoubled gammon, then you're effectively 8-0 up, aren't you? So that's right. not a bad situation when when you win the game without doubling.
Exactly, yeah. So that extra 2
Okay,
points.
so 4-6, what's our plan? We're being aggressive here, aren't we?
2-6, yeah, ideally, but I think just linking up with the racing lead seems pretty good. I like this plan. Other option maybe was making the 16.
So double 4, we could point on head unless there's anything better.
Yeah. Maybe, I mean, it feels like a waste to just switch 11 to 3. So I want to find something better.
It's going contrary to what I said about doing 2 things with a double. So
right.
I'm just trying to see if there's anything else, but it doesn't.
Maybe we could make the 7 and the deuce. I don't hate that play either.
Yeah, so 6 to 2 twice is a new point in unstacking. That seems reasonable, and then maybe we figure what to do with it. So 7 and 2, your idea seems good.
Yeah.
The point on head, Tim Cross always says point on head is right, irrespective of the position.
Yep. And that was the play there. 4-1, another kind of whiff here.
Horrible, yeah.
Yeah. What is the best we can do with it? Is
11 to 6 is the only play I can see.
Okay, so you'd rather give up a point than bury a checker than the ace. Okay. This leaves a direct 6 to escape with tempo. I can't really find myself making this.
No,
but he's right. Yeah. Okay.
But
okay. Yeah.
He knows better than we do.
Yeah. Apparently. 4-1. I guess when it's missed, the upside is much better. You can give it that.
Yeah.
Maybe for that reason, he should hop out and just challenge in the outfield to distract from making the 5-point or attacking in board.
So I'm happy to stay on the 3. I don't mind being attacked on the 3.
Yeah. Create some good numbers. I guess 6-3. But it does put a lot of pressure on the 9-point when he makes the 5-point here. So we've gained by being back for sure on this one.
Yeah, so we're kind of not at the edge of the prime, but we're quite close to escaping.
Wow, you're supposed to hit instead. How do you find that? I'm just making the 5-point. 3-1, no safe options. This is so funny. I guess the 3's going to hit, and then any ace you like. Maybe we keep it on the pure point and play 8 to 7, but okay. This has got to be fine as well. 1-4 can keep contact with that blot by coming in on the 24-point and clean up 9 to 5, I think is my play.
Yep. I mean, we could play 13-9 as well, but I don't see the need for that.
Yeah, I guess it's just a blocking. I guess it's not about the need and just that it doesn't really risk much. Like, how often does our opponent happy to hit with an ace there?
Yeah, so
follow-up. Yeah,
kind of like if he rolls an ace, he can hit 2 to 1 anyway, so it's going to do something good.
Yeah, okay. Nice spot.
Well, I didn't actually do it. I just looked at it and said I wouldn't do it.
I still count.
Okay, 4-2. So now
Racing lead means safe, right?
Storm clouds are looming.
Yeah. I think I want to just cover the deuce. I don't think we can afford to make the pure point instead. It's always tempting.
Yeah, can't see anything else. So 3 away, we definitely can't be doubling.
No.
But if we get lucky and win a gammon, we get to Crawford. That's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, you can. There's technically positions that exist that we're learning, improvements on that stick rule of you never have a cube at 3 away. But practically, it's quite a good, useful thing to keep yourself out of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, our threat here looks to be to win a gammon. We're going to pound on the 3-point and then close him out.
Yeah, not enough wins to send it in that case then, because then your opponent just recubes and cancels your gammons.
Yep.
Yeah. 3-1 doesn't do much. I guess makes the 10, links up some blots.
Saves
That's not
the
so
blots.
bad. Yeah. And black just looking to run past with like 4-5, 4-6 kind of stuff. 5-3. 4-1. What can this do? Does it still just need to make a bid for freedom and hope to race?
Yeah, that kind of tempts me. I mean, we can't stay there, can we? Because we just get crushed if we do.
Yeah, we get hit enough in board anyway. So yeah, I guess we can't be increasing too much to give up double 6s along with the 20 double direct shot. 6-3 probably just lets the 9-point go.
Yeah. And it gives us a bit more blocking and we get to start the 3.
Yeah. And black doesn't have aggressive cubes, even at this score against an anchor game. It's just too easy of a cube for white to happily camp on their contact value and maybe win 2 points to get to Crawford.
Yes, agree entirely. So white's just got to a position where he doesn't get gammoned a lot. So he's actually feels quite free to take.
Yeah, look at this, though. It's actually right on the cusp. Okay. So Raj, right to think about this a little bit, that it's more important that he not lose his market. It doesn't really look like it could. I wouldn't have guessed 65% here.
No, me neither. Okay, so 4-2.
This leaves a shot.
Yes, we can't play safe. Yeah.
Wow. So in that case, I guess we put it in front of the anchor? Oh, we can duplicate 3s, though. Maybe it's a little bit better to link up and do that. I guess it's not such a big deal for our opponent to have to leave their anchor against such a weak board. So I'll take that little bit of tactics and play 6-4. And
right. Yes. Yeah.
Quite close, though. Double 6s. Okay, he chose correctly, apparently. Huge racing lead now. I think we want to keep the link of the 14 to the back checker, maybe?
Yes.
Playing 10-4 twice.
So somewhere along the line, we're going to have to get that back checker out, and we need somewhere for it to land.
Awful close, though. With the racing lead, we also like to clear the contact.
Yeah, so I mean, it's great keeping the 14, but if you can't get the back checker moving next time, you might have to give it up.
Anyway, yeah.
The double 3, that is going to be good. Turns out it's very good.
Yeah, okay. That could be a game winner for Raj.
Yeah, so... Okay, so now I think we're cubing.
Yeah, and at normal scores, this is kind of tricky. Because we have the racing lead. We have the better board. We have a lot of reasons to try this out. Our opponent still has to close this, but we're primed, which makes it a little more passable. Not a lot of gammons at risk when we get attacked anyway. My instinct is to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, we're quite shy, though.
Big pass.
And so not surprised to see that happen over there. Yeah, I guess the priming value puts us up in that 78% wins, just much stronger than it looks initially to me.
Yes, I was thinking of 6-1, 6-2, leaving another blot.
Okay. Yeah.
The gammons seemed to be very small.
Yeah.
So that wasn't it. But yeah, it's tough for white now because we've got the gap, but we've got 5 points in front of it. So it's not a case like the 2 escapes. Oh right, I've seen this position. Yeah, it's you've kind of got 2 5 primes with gaps in them, and it's staggeringly powerful when you've got this 4 prime with the odd points at the end where you don't want them.
Here's an awkward roll. So we're gonna give that up.
Yeah, we got to move something, haven't we?
Oh, to the deuce. Maybe I would have given up the 9, but okay, I guess that's a builder.
Yes, you and me both. So
Double
It's a
threes.
very nice play if he doesn't roll 2-6.
Doesn't crack yet.
So we're still down in the race.
So still trying to hold blocking value. Okay, yeah. And Pete's still just looking for a deuce to step up. Almost all the gammon risk gone. So I'm sure he feels comfortable playing for 2 points in this game. Probably doesn't regret his cube decision or anything like that, you know. Feeling like he's getting play out of it. 3-ace, I guess, wants to point on head. The priming value isn't so real. We have that delete checker back there. We already have the deuce
we've
made.
still got these 5 blocking points in front of the 3-point.
Oh, what a shot this is. Has to, like, forced roll to hop out. But if he's missed on an ace, he's just winning the race. Yeah, this has turned out beautifully, the take.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, brings 2 in. Just needs to avoid double aces. Ooh, the ace up is scary. Okay, and so this is probably like well below 10%, above 5% where the take point is. So could still be that kind of a position.
Yeah, I think the pip count's very flattering for white, I would say.
Yeah, but he has to be like really dead to the race. And it looks like they're at least on similar roll numbers here, which makes me think we can't possibly send it quite yet.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, for money, clear pass, but not quite enough at the score. 5-6 is just going to take a checker off. But we could find a recube at this one. 5 in, 2 off. And so he's gained. Still wouldn't imagine that it's enough. And we're up to high 80s. Yeah, still need to get into the 90s to send it, though. And I don't know how you figure out over the board where exactly you are in races like this. That's going to solve a lot of problems.
That one, like you, I don't know the answer. I mean, I find this hard enough at a normal score with strange positions like this. So White's got a bit of a mess here. So it's not his own fault. It's just what he's rolled. But you can see he's missing even numbered points. So 2s are going to be particularly bad for him for a long time.
Right, right.
And Raj has now evacuated all the points that are multiples of 3.
Okay. All right. This is how you look at the game. Told me about this already. Maybe...
Well, it's very good of them to get to this kind of position.
What do we do here? Yeah, the 3-1 makes sense to me, but I don't know. It never really... I can't explain exactly why. Feels like...
Yeah, no, like you, I like 3-1, because then you say, well, okay, I've really got one bad 2 to come. If I roll something good next time, it's gin.
Oh, yeah, that's very true. I was just thinking because I get to spend my 6s and 5s a little more efficiently. But look at this. We've gotten into what rates to be a 4-roll. A little bit worse for black, so it must be a clear pass for money again. But I still don't think we're anywhere near it at the score. Yeah. And I think if he gets into the 3-roll afterwards, still a trivial take. And so I think he's like a couple rolls away at the score here. We'll see, though.
Yeah, so at the moment, in this 4-roll position, Raj doesn't have many playing doubles. So, what would it be? 2 5s and 6s.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really matter, because I mean, I think he's got 5 left, hasn't he?
5, 4. Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah, I guess so.
If he had 6 left. So now we're getting to this question. Now it's the 3-roll position.
This is still way early, though. We have to know that this isn't like too big of a pass. For like
so normally it's 21%, but black doesn't have the double 1 playing. So yeah, so I guess he's maybe 20%.
Easy take, but 80% or better of the time he wins the match on it, and so back it comes at 8. And Raj gonna do his best to get a chance to roll 2s or better to salvage a lost match. And 3-1 no good. Okay, he's gonna lose it on that, and so we're gonna have Pete Heskett.
What was the PR? So Raj dominated the PRs.
Yeah, I think it was pretty close before that final cube mistake. It was a pretty big one, you know.
So I didn't see how much it was wrong by the 3-roll position.
561. So score cubes are easy to have by that size. So that's going to be a big ding in the PR when the total equity you lost was 1.7. So play in real world-class stuff without that, but easy to get confused by those score scenarios. So I find that understandable.
Yeah, so I think the lesson from this is you've just got to sit down and think about it. So did he have time left?
Yeah, and he thought about it a little bit. Maybe he could have spent more time on that. I'm not sure.
I mean, you always want to look at the counter argument and say, suppose I don't double and I roll my magic double 6 and I get to 12-2. How bad of a disaster is that?
Yeah. I think I just know that one on references mainly, but I don't know. Got to figure it out some way. We got the thumbs
No, I
up
think your description was very good in terms of saying it's not far from a take for money.
Yeah, right. That's what I think people like. It's easy to get tripped up in these references and know that like things seem very clear when we just know the right and wrong answer, right? But that doesn't mean that it's a huge equity difference. So
yeah, exactly. So it's not a binary choice. Is the answer.
Exactly.
We try and simplify it by making it that way. So it's kind of like the 4-roll position is almost the optimum double.
Yeah, exactly. So we know that. So we know that the 3-roll must be a pass. Right? But it's actually easy to forget that 4-roll, even though 4-roll is the optimum double, you still have a cube at a 5-roll, 5-roll. Like
yes, from the center.
Right.
Theoretically, you can double any n-roll position when they're the same.
So, okay.
15 checkers on the 1 point against 15 checkers on the 1 point is an initial double.
Interesting. Okay, that one I didn't know. That's pretty good.
Yep. Well, you'll thank me next time it comes up.
I will. Well, unless it's wrong, because I'm not going to check it. Well, all right. Thank you so much, Julian. I think that's going to wrap it up for the evening for us. Yeah, we'll start with the finals or something tomorrow at 11 a.m. UK time. Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I think I'm meant to be going all the way through tomorrow. So
excellent.
Don't know how long the day is going to be, but we will find out as we go along.
Oh,
so one thing I will mention to you now while we've got a free minute or so, is I have something to do with a kind of short lesson with a slideshow. So I will send that to you, and if we have 5 or 10 minutes spare tomorrow, maybe we can fit that in.
Okay. Do you have that recorded or on a?
No, I'm going to send you a collection of pictures.
Oh, okay.
So all you have to do is save them in a directory and then show them as a slideshow.
I might be able to do that. Might be able to figure that out. Okay.
Okay. But it's not essential, so don't worry if you don't feel like it's something you have to do and stay up half the day for.
If you recorded yourself in a little like run through or something like that on a video, then I can run it just like my videos, and that's super easy to do.
Yeah, so I just don't have the technology to do that. How about if I run the slideshow at this end? Can I do a share screen and you can put that up on the screen?
That might work. We can mess around with it if we have some time tomorrow.
But I'll leave it in abeyance for the moment. It's certainly not essential if we don't do it.
Okay. Well, cool. Thank you so much, Julian. I'm going to move us to just a short outro commercials, and then we'll shut down the stream
so I'm looking forward to tomorrow when we're going to get all the exciting matches. So
me too.
Yeah, I did have a look at the fighters bracket.
Okay.
And if you remember, we saw Chris Bray in the very first match we looked at that he got closed out 13-0.
Yeah, walloped. It was unfortunate.
So since then, he's won 5 straight matches. So he's in the semi of the fighters bracket.
Okay, I might have to jump on the brackets early and see kind of what names are in there. It's always fun to see what the progress through the tournament has been. So I'll have to catch up on that before we play. You guys can pull those from the...
I think was George Jacobs against the Australian guy. Was he Australian or New Zealand?
Len Brown. Yeah. I think that too. I think he was Australian. Yeah. So cool.
Okay, so I think I'm happy to call it a day for today if you are.
Sounds great. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Thank you, Julian. Yeah, and we'll be back tomorrow, everybody.
Okay.
Bye now.
Cheers, then. Bye.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Nick Blazer here, back with another interview, this time with Zdenya Gziska Masayuki Mochizuki, a.k.a. Mochi.
Hi.
Hi, Mochi.
Hello.
Michihito Kagayama. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. And hi, Nick. Thank you for having me.
Justin Knoll. He's, welcome, Justin. Say hi.
Hello.
Thomas Tenland. He is G1 Grandmaster on BMAB. I just looked it up. Current PR of 2.89. Nick Blazer here with another interview with another backgammon community star in Simon Parchet.
Difficult positions you have to figure out over the board. You understand what I mean? And it's sometimes it's not easy, and it's like you have to be sharp.
I mean, the worst player in my first 5th or 6th round was like PR5, so I was like, oh my god, what a day. But then, I mean, the luck turned on the other side, so it was super exciting, and it was one of my best weeks. I mean, the most exciting.
You really get to win, or the guy goes, but what if he hits me back? And I go, but what if he anchors? You know what I mean? Like the fear isn't getting hit back. The fear is him anchoring, you know? And Sanders said that in an interview. And I go, I've been telling people this in lessons for years. I'm like, if he anchors on the 24 point, the guy might end up winning 20% of the games then and there.
What changed? How did you figure out that it was a game worth playing and studying?
Then, maybe I was 17 years old. I accidentally found a book at the bookstore, which is a backgammon strategy book.
Hi everybody, Nick Blazer here with another position analysis video. This one is about recube action against the three-way player, so trailing against that and how to find these aggressive cubes. It's something that I've covered in my book, but this is a position I got tricked by over the board playing doubles in San Antonio. This is a banana split kind of decision. If you're not familiar with that decision, it's deciding to break a point in your board to hit. Sometimes it's urgent enough to do that. Sometimes that's the best